Okay, and does it show that we're recording?
Yes, and you have people in, actually.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so I'm going to stop the video. Or no, stop share.
I can't put the roller skates on.
All right, cool. So, Zach, where can I see the names of the people that are on?
You don't have, it should be a participants box.
It says participants, but it's not.
So did you see attendee?
Oh, there we go. I got it. Okay, cool. Cool. What's up, guys? How's everybody doing? We're gonna start right around 12 o'clock. This is kind of we're expecting a full house today, so we can't really do a ton of. I'm used to doing a lot of Zoom calls where we talk to everybody, but we're gonna have to really use that chat today. So sit tight and thank you for coming. It's going to be a really awesome day. I've got a ton of stuff planned and prepared for you guys today. So really, really excited. So we're rolling in about 12 minutes. So sit tight and we'll be ready to rock. And I'll introduce Zakia, AKA Zach. She is the head of operations, the new head of operations here at Fitness Business University. So she will take care. If you do have any, and I'll repeat this also, but if there's any like technical difficulties or anything like that, Zach has posted into the chat. Have you posted your email into the chat, Zach?
I'll do it right now.
Okay, great.
Your name is Zach?
Great. I was walking by today, and there was a bunch of sessions going on, and all of a sudden I see one of our interns, and he pulled out his phone, and he's looking at his phone, and he pulled it out the wrong time. I was like walking right by, and he pulled it out, and literally, like, I don't think in my 10 years I've ever had a trainer, pull their cell phone out on the floor ever. And his kid pulled his phone out, and the poor kid, he like locked eyes with me as soon as he pulled his phone out, and I like the poor kid just went into this like crumble of a shell. But so I felt bad for him. But truly, there's really no cell phones on the floor at my gym. But yeah, I think it's a problem in the industry. So let's go. All right, so let's see. All right, we got Al on the line, Lonzo on the line. Gabe, what's up, brother? Gabe's already locked in for the surge, but he wants to get more. Very good. Oh, Mike, what's up, dude? How's it going? Kelsey, how are you? Jose, how's it going? Do me a favor. I want to kind of get an idea of where everyone's from. So let's like type into the chat, just, where you're, what state and city you're from. Long Island, New York, baby. Pittsburgh. Oh, another Pittsburgh. I love Pittsburgh. I drove, when I drove back from California, I drove through Pittsburgh, and we stayed the night in Pittsburgh. It's a really cool spot. Detroit, Al was just out in Ann Arbor, Michigan, so we fly into Detroit. I was also out in Chicago as well. Actually, right before I flew into when we went to Ann Arbor, Portugal, very good. We have made it, Zach. We are international.
Nice.
So really exciting. Good. Portugal, Chicago. Good. And I'm going to be going, we still have sessions going on right now in the gym, but I'm going to be going and turning down that music in a second. So I'll leave for a second and go turn down that music, and we'll be good to go.
I actually don't hear it anymore.
Yeah, I'll just for a sound case.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Michael, how are things going over there? After we spoke, sounds like you got a really busy gym going on. A lot of stuff. Yeah, it sounds like, Mike, you got a lot going on just from the sports performance perspective, but also, you know, the opportunity that you have, very similar to TJ, the opportunity that you have, you know, with these adults. So really, really cool. I'm gonna pull the screen down a little bit. There we go. Stacy, you just came on. How are you? Go ahead and just type where you're from into the chat. Virginia, awesome. Very good. Is it possible to see the repetition of this webinar? Yeah, we're gonna be sending out a replay of the webinar via email, so you guys will be able to see the replay as well. Also, you should have gotten, if you didn't get this, it's not the worst thing in the world, but if you there was a printout with this webinar, so you got a printout that basically gives you notes that you can follow along with. So go ahead and print that out. And I'm like kind of more of a pen and paper guy, so that's why we created more of like a blank sheet for you guys. So it's got, you know, the basic stuff that I'm going to cover today, and that you can kind of take notes on it. So if you can, real quickly, go ahead and just fill that out, or print that out so you can fill that out along the way here.
Yeah, you likely got it just within the last hour. The subject says new client surge, webinar starts in 1 hour. So it's in that actual email.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so if you can go find that email, go ahead and print that out. What's up, Will? Go ahead and just type in where you're from in the chat. And I imagine people are going to be coming on later because they're finishing up their 11 o'clock session to start at 12. Maybe I should have started this at 12:10 or 12:15. But good. Oh, Tennessee. Aaron, what's up, man? How you doing? Very good. Rob from Boston, Mass. What's up, dude? How are you? We were going to play some music for you guys while we were getting started, but Zach said it sounded crappy, so.
It did.
Okay. Good. Rob, what's up? George, what's going on, George? Brian, Dylan, what's up, Dylan? All right. We're starting a cruise here. Everyone's getting off their Friday 11 o'clock session, getting ready to roll. We are here to add a bunch of money to our bottom line. We're going to unpack marketing in the gym industry, in the fitness industry, and we're going to help you guys become really, really awesome business owners, you know, specifically from a marketing perspective today. So really excited, you know, truly appreciate you guys taking time out of your Friday to be here. And, you know, really excited. I think there's going to be a ton you're going to be able to take away from today. And for some of you that don't know who the hell I am, and I recognize a lot of names, but for some of you that don't know me, I'll be doing like a brief intro and telling my story and, you know, really going over, you know, all the things you need to know about me to make sure I'm not some crazy person that you are going to listen to for the next couple hours. Okay. All right. We are 2 minutes away, Zach. I'm going to go turn off our music. So I'll be right back and we will get started.
Sounds good. If you guys have any questions or concerns during the webinar, you can shoot me an email. I put my email in the chat and I'll constantly update that as the webinar goes through, just so you're not trying to go back and search and look for it. Al Stockwell actually just sent you a message. So if you hit it, if you send that back to me, I'll make sure that you get the handout.
Okay. All right, guys, we are ready to rock and roll. We got a bunch of people on the line right now. My name is Vince Gabriel. Thank you guys for coming. As I introduced before, this is also Zach. I don't know if you can see her. I think they can. They can see you, Zach?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So any questions or any technical difficulties, go ahead and just contact Zach. I will be kind of looking down at the chat to see. So if my eyes kind of go down like this, just know I'm kind of looking at the chat to make sure that you guys don't have any questions. So if you just came on, do me a favor, post into the chat. Let's practice posting in the chat today because we're going to do it a bunch. But post in the chat where you are from, okay? What city you're from and where your gym is. And if you own a gym. Okay, cool. Zach, can you, I just got a text from John Hopkins about the something. You got to kind of contact him or something. So just maybe give John a call. Okay, cool. So, all right, Jeff, Durham, North Carolina, beautiful. Love it down there. A lot of Pittsburgh on this call. This is exciting. Washington, D.C. owns a PT studio. What's up, Matt? What's going on? Own a gym, Trilogy, Cincinnati, Ohio. I think we spoke on the phone. Charlie's got a gym in Jersey. Very good. Kyle, what's up, man? How are you? Good to see you. Awesome. Guys are fouling in here 40 minutes outside of Providence in Boston. Really, really great. Okay, cool. So before I get rolling, what I want you to do, Summit, PA, awesome, love Pennsylvania. One of my dreams is to buy a really awesome lake house in Pennsylvania, right about an hour away from my house in New Jersey. I want a beautiful lake house in Pennsylvania. Jim Reeves, what's up? We've spoken on the phone many years ago. How are you, man? Great to talk to you or see you. Trey, what's up? Randy, what's going on? Good. Okay. So we're all found in. I'm going to share my screen here. Okay, Zach, are we good there?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so let's get rolling. How to get a surge of new clients, charge the prices you deserve, and give yourself a $10,000 a month raise in 2019. Yes, that is possible. Very good. Let's get rolling. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you guys a complete strategy that will bring highly consistent, highly qualified leads to your door, and then the tactics to use what no other gyms are using correctly. Okay, so that's kind of what we're going to cover. A couple of housekeeping things. Go ahead and just turn off your phones. Kind of just put them on silent. If you have, emergencies at home, maybe keep it on. But try and get your phones off. Get yourself fully focused for the next couple hours. Get out pen and paper to take notes. Hopefully you printed out that sheet, and then finally put it on full screen capabilities so you can see it. Zach, am I able to move the screen down a little? Because I can't see. There's that top bar that's kind of getting in the way, so I can't see the top of the screen.
Do you think it says you're viewing Vince Gabriel's screen? That?
Yeah, but it's kind of this bar on top where it says share screen. I can't really see the slide, so all right, I'll be fine. All right. Okay, cool. All right, so here's the agenda today. So they can see that, right? They can see the agenda where it says agenda? Okay, yeah. Good. All right, so it's just mine that's covering it up. First thing we're gonna go over is my story. Like I said before, I have no idea. I know some of you, I recognize a lot of your names, but some of you might not know who the heck I am. So I'm gonna go over my story. The main thing we're gonna cover today is the 5 pillars of marketing all gymmers and gym owners must know. This is specifically for gym owners. And I'm going to explain to you kind of why I have the credibility to be able to speak to you about that. How you can apply all this to your business, okay? These 5 pillars of marketing, how you can apply this to your business. I'm going to go over a program, and a lot of you guys have questions on the new program that I'm launching. It's really not new, but we'll go over the Surge program, and then I'll take any questions, at the end. So that's our agenda for today. So here's my path. I am just like you guys, okay? I am a personal trainer. Before I opened a gym and before I became a business consultant in the fitness industry, I logged 10,000 plus hours on the floor training clients. And I was a college football player, and I was an offensive lineman at Temple University, and obviously loved football and loved the weight room. And I was getting a degree in business at the time, and realized that I was taking all these business classes like micro and macroeconomics and everything like that. And I realized it's like, this is boring to me. I don't like this. The biggest thing I love is the gym. And I love the gym so much. I want to make sure that, I want to stay, in that kind of field. So what I did was I moved to San Diego. I went from Philadelphia, which is like one of the grittiest cities in the world, to San Diego, which is one of the nicest cities in the world. And I finished my degree out there. And I got an internship. I got an internship at a place called Fitness Quest 10 in San Diego, and literally knew nothing. I had never taken an exercise science class. I had never taken kinesiology or anything like that. I had a business degree. And I just had this drive and love for fitness. And I found this gym called Fitness Quest 10, a guy named Todd Durkin, who's a pretty famous guy, well-known guy. He brought me on, and I became a trainer there. And I was a trainer there for 5 years, for a long time. And during those 5 years, I logged probably 10,000, hours on the floor training clients. So I'm speaking to you today as a business coach, but I have walked in every one of one's path. I have walked in the path of the tired trainer, the exhausted, those 16-hour days where you're doing 14 sessions. And I have walked in those shoes. And so my training background started in San Diego, and my business background actually started and here is proof, actually. Here is proof. No one has ever seen this before. And it's funny, I just found this, but this is a DVD. For those of you that don't know DVDs, this is a DVD. And it's one of those really big DVD sets. It's like long. This is like, I think it's 16 DVDs or something like that. So what this DVD is, when I was at Fitness Quest, they followed me to train 2 athletes for 10 weeks. And it's 30 hours of footage. So you can't buy this anymore. We were selling this DVD for like $150. But literally, it's me coaching 2 athletes for 30 hours. And I was like, who is ever going to buy this? But actually, a few people bought it. And one of the guys in my mastermind, Mike Marcinick, one of his trainers had bought it. And when he started coaching me, he's like, hey, I know that guy from somewhere. And it was from my DVD. So if you can ever find this, maybe on the bootleg, because it's not sold anywhere anymore, you'll know this is proof that I was a personal trainer at one point. And I've walked those shoes. So I loaded from San Diego to New Jersey, loaded everything I had into this pickup truck. And right away, I opened up 5 gyms. 5 gyms. Right away, I loaded everything I owned into this equipment, moved from San Diego to New Jersey, and opened up 5 gyms right away. Here were the 5 gyms. The 5 gyms was the parking lot up top. The second one was my mom's basement at the top. The third one down there was the parking lot. The middle one was the field. And the other one was the local gym. I tried to get the actual pictures in there. Some of them, these are just pictures of the replicas of these things. But these were my first 5 locations. So I moved from San Diego to New Jersey, opened up my gym. And this was the first year of me opening up my business, was me training people, training adults, training kids, on fields, training all kinds of college kids, high schools, everything you could ever think of, which is the start of one of the problems I'll go talk about today. But this was kind of my first year of business. We opened up my first facility in 2008. It's a 6,000 square foot facility in Berkeley Heights, New Jersey. And we were there for 8 years. And in those 8 years, we worked with, hundreds and hundreds of athletes and adults. And we really built something truly, truly awesome. And 2 years ago, we expanded into our facility that I'm broadcasting this from, a 10,000 square foot facility. Those are 2 separate rooms in the gym, but our 10,000 square foot facility that we've been in for the last 2 years. And here is a picture of us at our 10-year anniversary. So we just celebrated 10 years, as a facility. We're going stronger than ever. And the cool thing, and maybe one of the biggest reasons what gives me the credibility to be teaching today, is this picture. And I want you to notice something. So those of you that don't know me, that's me in the picture all the way over on the left, next to that, see that really tall guy? Next to the tall guy is me, and not in the middle of the picture. I'm almost out of my own picture. I'm almost out of the picture. And this tells like a really important story. And it wasn't planned like this anyway, but it tells an important story that as successful as this gym is, it now consistently runs without me there. And that is the biggest thing in my life that I'm most proud of, that I've been able to create a business that gives me a ton of freedom. And it's really because of a lot of the people that you see in this picture, but also, from the systems that we've put together. And since I've been able to get that gym to run without me, I have time. And when you have time, what do? You write books. So I've written, 4 books. My first book was The Ultimate Success Mindset. My second book was The Hiring Method. And my third was the Marketing Your Gym. My fourth was the new one, The Sales. And so since I've had time, I was like, okay, I've grown this gym. Now I have the time. I want to teach other gym owners what has helped us have this kind of success. So these are the 4 resources. I know a lot of you probably have copies of all of these books. I'm going to give you guys access to be able to get copies of these later on. And I've taken time to start a podcast. Me and Big Tom have recorded close to 50 episodes of the Fitness Business University podcast. And we're going to make sure that, everything that you guys are hearing on that podcast is the truth and what we're doing, in our facility. I've also been around speaking. There's me speaking at Perform Better. I spoke at one of the largest conventions. It was one of my first really big talks, that one down at the bottom, where I spoke in front of like 400 people at Idea World. I shared the stage with Darren Hardy and Todd Durkin and Pat Rigsby. And that was a really cool event. And the bottom right is me speaking in Denver, Colorado at the Mind Body Conference. And I don't know if you guys know, there's a girl named Rachel Hollis. My wife loves her and follows her, but Rachel Hollis will be the keynote speaker for the Mind Body Bold Conference this year. So really excited to be speaking with her. Last year was Michelle Obama. So the Mind Body Bold Conferences are really great spots, really great speaking gigs. And these are just some of the, of my mentors, but also some really, big time people in the industry that have had decent things to say. Really cool. I just recorded a podcast with Charlie Weingroff, and it's going to be awesome. He and I spoke for like an hour and a half. So if you don't know Charlie, you definitely should. But guys like Mike Boyle and Eric Cressy, and it's funny, I'm speaking at Perform Better this year. And I finally broke into Chicago, where I'll be speaking in the afternoon on Saturday. And I'm speaking at the same time as one of my mentors, Coach Mike Boyle, which was like kind of really nerve wracking. And all my trainers are messing with me. They're saying, oh yeah, we're going to go to Boyle and not you. But really cool to have, the stamp of approval from some really, really cool industry pioneers that you guys probably all know. And my biggest joy right now in the industry is working with my mastermind. There's so much going on. I am just so proud of all these guys, and we get on the phone once a week. Everything is going smooth in their businesses, and it's just a joy to coach these guys on a regular basis. So you guys will definitely be hearing about the mastermind soon. So here's what you'll learn. Okay, cool. Oh, good. So normally it doesn't say that. So here's what you learned during this presentation. How to get more members so you can make more money. How to get leads without being reactive so you can have a predictable flow of new business. How to avoid the one-trick pony marketing plan so you can finally relax and watch your machine work. And the new way to build the gym of your dreams. So that's kind of what we're going to cover here. Why is this important to you now? A couple reasons. Okay, first reason. We're in the middle of a very strong economy right now, if you didn't know that. And the reality is this, and one of my brother-in-law is in the financial markets. Really, all of my family's in the financial markets. The economy is really, really powerful right now. And the reality is this. It's not going to last forever. And we're still in an upward climb in the economy, and it's not going to stay like this. And 2019 really could be the last year. And I'm not saying this to scare you or anything like that, but the reality is these markets just don't climb forever. The history will just say it's going to go down soon. So you got to be prepared for that. And if you're not having success now in this kind of economy, it's going to be really hard once the economy starts to struggle. And I'm not saying you should base your business on the economy. We've done well throughout bad economies or anything like that. But the reality is it's going to get harder as the economy starts to go down. So now is the time to make sure that your business is stronger than ever, to make a bunch of money now and sock away as much as you can. Okay, here, sorry. Okay. Second thing, there's an immense amount of more competition coming our way. Guys, Orange Theory is just the tip of the iceberg. When you have something like Orange Theory coming, there are going to be a ton of similar things that follow, in addition to what's going on with all the things with Peloton and all things like that. There's so much coming down because the health is becoming such a mainstream thing in the industry. People are so focused on it. So you got to know that there's a ton of stuff coming our way. Most of the ways that advertising companies teach marketing that we've learned is dead wrong. Most of the things that you're learning about advertising is based on large businesses, and it's completely wrong for what's going to have a small business succeed. So I'm going to kind of turn that whole stuff around for you. And there's a ton of people. Here's the thing. There are tons of people like me, guys. Tons of people like me. And I'm going to kind of show you why I'm a little bit different than some of them. But these gurus are peddling this one-trick pony marketing tactic. And it does work for some. Like, some people have gotten results. And I have a feeling a lot of these things are very, inflated. You know, when someone says, oh, I got 900 leads, you know, off this one thing. And like, okay, really? And I'm going to show you a bunch of testimonials today. And you will see that most of the testimonials that I share with you are increases not only in recurring revenue, but all increases over the course of an entire year, where I will show you where they started and where they ended versus saying, oh, we flooded this gym with, you know, 2,000 leads and they converted one person. So there's a lot of crap out there, and it's not all crap. I'll tell you that right now, but you'll get to see how different this is pretty soon. And there's a lack of programs out there that don't deliver something that lasts for the long haul. There's a lot of quick fix stuff out there, but what you're going to learn today is something that's going to last for the long haul. Okay, so this is for you if you're a gym owner and you want to make more money. This is for you if you're tired of chasing shiny objects and you want a predictable, reliable, and consistent flow of leads. If you want to maximize your gym's profit and break through to the next level. And if you depend on only one way, and it's funny, I have a lot of people, you know, kind of calling me and saying, you know, you're really speaking to me about having this multiple ways to market because I only focus on one thing, and usually it's Facebook. And I'm not saying Facebook is bad, but the reality is you can't depend on it, especially when it closes down for an entire day, as some of you noticed. Okay, this is for you if you want to dominate your area. This is true. This is for you if you want to have more time and more freedom, right? You want time with your family. I've structured my gym so I can have as much time with my family as I want. It's one of the greatest gifts my gym could ever give me, and I'm going to show you how I've had that happen for many other people. This is for you if you're worried about paying bills because of lack of lead flow. This is a big challenge. I don't have a ton of people coming to me saying, I'm bleeding clients, I'm bleeding clients, I'm bleeding clients. A lot of people saying, I just can't get enough on the front end. So you're going to discover the secrets of a marketing system that will get results. Okay. So this is what this is not. This is what this is not. This is not a 6-week challenge. Okay. This is not a Facebook ad funnel where we're just going to show you one funnel and tell you that you're just one thing to do away. That does not work for brick and mortar gyms. This is not a get leads quick program, right? So I'm not going to show you how to get 500 leads in the next 2 weeks because I think that most businesses are not prepared for that. This is not a plan to fill a leaking bucket. Now I mentioned retention, you know, wasn't much of a problem, but the reality is if it is, there is no marketing system out there that can help you. That if you have a leaking bucket, if you're losing more clients than you're gaining, that is a huge problem, and that is what needs to be fixed first. So every once in a while, I do get on the phone with a gym owner that tells me about their bleeding clients because of cultural issues and things like that. That's what you got to fix first because there's no marketing system out there that can fill a leaking bucket. So that is an issue. Okay, so let me go through kind of my initial conflict that basically was the thing that had really turned me around and got me to focus on becoming a marketing expert. So I was a great trainer. I spoke to Charlie Weingroff on the podcast yesterday, and I was really humbled to say Charlie Weingroff is probably one of the best physical therapists in the world. And Charlie has given me several different testimonials from me as a trainer, not just a business coach. But I was a really good trainer that did not want to learn marketing when I was focused in the initial stages of growing my business. I just wanted to focus on the training, and I wanted someone else to generate the leads. I had a big problem when we started. We focused a lot on athletes, right? And since we didn't have a really good stable of recurring revenue, we would have massive swings in revenue. So there would be times where we'd be like the summertime, we'd be killing it. And then all of a sudden for us, it was September. September would come and all of a sudden, like all of our business would just drop off the face of the planet. And a business is not designed to support these huge swings in revenue. So that was kind of one of the things that started really hindering me in my business early on. I had no real plan. So when I did kind of find out it was slow, I'd be like, oh, we got to do a sponsorship. Oh, we got to, post an ad in the newspaper, take out a magazine. And we practice what I call squirrel marketing. which is basically, all right, we need leads or we need business or we got to go do a bunch of this stuff and see if it sticks and see if it works. And that was kind of me, you know, in the first several years of my business. There was no real plan. And even when we started to do stuff, I would do things that required heavy labor. Things like, you know, and these aren't bad things to do, and I'm going to talk about some of them today that you should do, but all the marketing that I did was based around me going somewhere and doing something. And I didn't have any marketing that could actually work without me having to be there. And I certainly didn't have any marketing that worked when I slept. We hired, and because of this, we were like, okay, we just got to do something. So I hired several different companies that focused on marketing, and says, I basically would hire these companies and just say, hey, I want to just get me the leads. I don't care. I just want to focus on my clients and my trainers. Just get me the leads. And these guys came in, and everything got worse because I stopped doing all the good, grassroots type of stuff, and they started doing all this branding work that just didn't do anything for us. So it kind of set us back, and these companies were very, very expensive. A lot of money we were shelling out to these different kinds of companies, and there was just really no results. And we were spending lots of money on sponsorships and online publications and things like that. So this is what the initial conflict after some early success in business, where we didn't really have a plan to get consistent leads in the business, and things started to actually, you know, suffer. And this is kind of where the bottom hit. We had our first year where we really had no growth. We had a good path in the beginning, and then all of a sudden, because of these marketing challenges, we stopped growing. And when you stop growing, especially when you have these big fluctuations, you're going to run into cash flow problems. And I remember there were some serious issues with our cash flow that really caused me to panic. And at this point in my career, I had hired a general manager and a marketing company. And because cash flow got so bad and these people weren't getting results, I had to step back in, and I had to fire a general manager that was making close to $90,000 a year. And, you know, that was like a terrible thing because I had to, you know, fire, like he had to go on unemployment. It was like a terrible, awful thing that caused me a ton of different stress. And then we had to get rid of the marketing, and I basically, you know, had no idea what to do because I had all these people that I was depending on that weren't getting results. And I just was like totally confused on where to go to try and get my marketing back on track. For me, stress was at an all-time high. It was right in the middle of when my third child was being born. And because of all that stress, I started to get health scares. I got a blood test back, and I had a CRP, which is called C-reactive protein, which is basically a level of inflammation that was like off the charts high. And this doctor said to me, I was like, dude, he was like, you have to do something because your level of inflammation is so high that I have a bad history in my family of heart disease. And so you got to do something. And I was like, that scared the hell out of me. And I was like, the stress was just awful for this. And so I had to do something. So the number one thing I did, and this is what I'm going to suggest to you guys, is that I personally took full ownership over the sales and marketing. I didn't depend on a marketing company. I didn't depend on a general manager to do the marketing. I didn't depend on a social media guy. It was me. I was the one that needed to control the lead flow. And this was taught to me by a very, very smart business consultant that he says, you need to step up and you need to take control over the marketing and the sales for your business. And because I didn't know much, what I had to do is I had to start studying. And so I decided to study something called direct response marketing, which I'm going to show you a bunch of different examples of today. There's a guy named Dan Kennedy that kind of pioneered this style of marketing. And it was totally different than all the branding type of things that we were doing. I got crystal clear on one target market and became the best gym in our area for that market. I'm going to go into this a little bit more later, but we were all over the place. We were training kids, we were training adults, we were training ACL, we were training teams, and we never really sat down and said, who are we for? What is our identity? Who are we going to be the hero to? So that was one of the biggest decisions we made, is we got crystal clear on one. And I changed my thinking about marketing from an expense to an investment. And I'm going to go over that as well too. Marketing is not an expense. you're investing just like you would invest in the stock market. I built an actual marketing system into my business using multiple sources, follow-up, and conversion. And we raised our prices. And finally, the turning point was this. So when I took over, when I had this kind of whole epiphany, we were at 150 members, okay? And this was basically after, I'd say, 7 years of business. So for the first 7 years of business, we were at 0 to 150. And 2 years later, in 2 years, we went from 150 to 300. So essentially in 2 years, we did what we did in 7 years. All of this focus that I'm going to kind of talk to you about, the system that we implemented into our business. And I will tell you this, all of that revenue that we increased by 500, and that is not, we went to 500,000, that has increased our business by 500,000 with solely adult members. So it was a massive turnaround for the business. And it was because of the marketing system that we put in place. So this is where we are right now. So my gym in Berkeley Heights, New Jersey, and I promise you this is not a lie, and I know some of you might be like, wow, generates $130,000 per month. And most of my time, pretty much all of my time, is spent working with clients to help build their business. So I really have nothing to do with the day-to-day. Last year, I sat in on a weekly team meeting, and this year I'm not even doing that. So literally, it's like once a quarter, I meet with the team, and that is my involvement in a business that's generating $130,000 per month. That does not happen by accident, and it's also not just me. So I'm going to tell you about a bunch of different people that I've helped, have great success. This is a guy named Kyle Newell that owns a great gym in New Jersey. And here's something for you. This is not some, blown up testimonial, guys, that you're going to see on Facebook from the gurus out there. This is a profit and loss statement. It doesn't get more official than proving what you've helped people do than a profit and loss statement. So if you look at October 2017, you did $33,850 in revenue, and in October 18 did 55,000. Okay, so that is recurring revenue. That is not something that you can really fake. That's not from like one payment in full or anything like that. That is just consistent ground pound marketing to get your business to the next level. I'm going to be telling you guys a lot more about the different people that I've helped do this, because I'm coming to you as a gym owner that's been able to do this myself. But the reality is I've helped a lot of other people do this as well. So here, what we're going to do is what we're going to unpack, the 5 kind of pillars of marketing. 1, how do you guys get the right clients? How do you get the right clients? Number 2 is your marketing message. Number 3 is the marketing tactics that you're going to use. Number 4 is your marketing scoreboard. And number 5 is the actual marketing system. So this is basically the 5 pillars that I used to really take my business to the next level, and what I use in teaching all the different gym owners that I've helped over the years. Okay. So number 1, getting the right clients. I talked to you guys before about when we started that we were for everyone. We trained athletes, we trained ACL, we trained some adults, we trained teams. We were for everyone. We were that definite gym that, and here's the thing, when you're for everyone, you're for no one. And it wasn't until we had that laser focus on who are the clients that we are going to help that we took our business to a whole another level. The business that becomes the best gym for their target market will win. Seth Godin talks about being the best in the world, right? He talks about being the best gym in the world. And basically, you can be the best gym in the world, and don't think that you have to be on the Men's Health, best gyms in America or anything like that. Only thing that you're trying to do is be the best gym in the world for your target market. And you can't be the best gym in the world for athletes and adults and ACL people and physical therapy people. You just can't. So if you want to be the best gym in the world, you got to pick that one narrow focus to be able to win with that. And failure to make this decision will dramatically reduce your success. So you got to really decide who your perfect client is. Okay, so here are some things you need to know with selecting your perfect client. Do they have the money to support your business goals? Okay, that's a really important question because a lot of people want to train these 22-year-old in shape hard bodies, that want to, just compete in these CrossFit games and do all these different types of things. And the reality is, if you're going to create a business that's not based on volume, and I really look at, if you're charging $100 or less, you're playing a volume game. And the goal is to get to the $200, the $300, the $400, the $500 per month to be able to have, a gym that's really going to take your business and your personal finances to a whole nother level. So the first thing you've got to decide is, do these people have the money to support your business goals? So, we went to the decision of, hey, the 40 to 60-year-old person in our community, well, one, I know that they need us, but two, they are the ones that are going to be able to have the finances and the resources to be able to pay us the kind of money that we want to make. The second thing is, will they be consistent, right? So I talked before about the athletes, and one of the biggest things, a problem with training athletes is they're not consistent. And here's something, if you do train athletes, and I know there's a lot of people on here that do, just know this, know that you will lose 25% of your clients every year. 25% of your clients every year. The reality is, if you train 25 freshmen, sophomore, junior, and senior, those seniors are going to college and they're not going to be there anymore in a year. So this stuff is hard enough. All right. But don't pick a market that's going to have built-in attrition. And I have tons and tons of people in my mastermind that came to me as sports performance type gyms and have had nothing going on from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. where they could earn $1 million in revenue, and we're doing nothing. So the reality is, the market that you pick, make sure they're going to be consistent, because that consistent recurring revenue is something that's essential to these kinds of businesses. And finally, you have to have the desire, right? You have to want to help them. If all of a sudden you decide that, all right, yes, senior citizens that are 75 and up, yet they have a ton of money, so I'm going to go help them, but you actually hate every minute of it, that's not going to work, right? That's not going to work. So I'll tell you, like, we did some things where we tried to dabble in training like young kids, right? Like 7-year-olds and 8-year-olds, because yeah, it's easy to get, it's easy money. And the reality was, every time they would come in, they'd be throwing stuff around and yelling and screaming. And it was just like, all right, we just didn't want to train those kids. So you got to want to help these people. So those are kind of the three things. The market that you pick, has to have the money, has to be able to be consistent, and you have to have the desire to want to help these people. So what you need to do is you need to decide on one primary market. And in my case, it's the 40 to 60-year-old adult. That is the case of many. And that is not to say that you can't have other markets and you can't train other people, right? It's just to say that you have to be about one market, as where all of the things that you're going to do for marketing are going to be directed towards. So we have about 320 adults that pay on average about $400 a month. And we have another 120 athletes. We do next to nothing to market. We just base that on our reputation and word of mouth, but all of our identity, everything is built around that one primary market. If you walk into our gym, you will see the way it's set up. All right, there's not like athlete posters everywhere and flags on the wall. It's geared towards, everything about our gym is geared towards that primary market, and the secondary market needs to fit in to what our primary market really desires. So it's not to say that you can't train other groups, but when you do market, you do need to market to them separately, if at all. I would spend most of your marketing dollars on that one primary market. You have to know absolutely everything about that market. You must know absolutely everything about if your market is a 40-year-old male, you must know everything about that. And I'm going to talk to you guys in a second about how you can really understand that on a deeper level. And you must create an avatar, a very, very specific type of person. And you can have multiple avatars. I'll show you one of ours, but a very, very specific type of person that can completely and very clearly describe your market. So ours is a guy named Frustrated Frank. Frustrated Frank. So Frank is a 50-year-old man that has a job in New York City, and he's like business guy, lawyer, probably makes about $500,000 a year. He lives in our general community. He's got 3 kids. His wife's a stay-at-home mom, and he's basically trying to just, he's really, really successful, but his job has him really, really stressed. He's commuting every day, so he's spending 4 to 5 hours on the train, and he's not eating well. He's out of shape, and he basically fears that he's going to not be functional as he gets older and be able to play with his grandkids and all things like that. That is like the actual very specific person that we think about when we market, right? So when we write an ad, or we do a Facebook post, or we write an email, we are thinking with this man in mind. And we are thinking about, will this message resonate with Frustrated Frank? So that's a really, really important thing for you guys to create, is to create your own avatar, if you will, of the person. And you should put some kind of word in front of it. The word frustrated is, this guy's frustrated with his health. And he used to be in shape, and now he's not, and he has no idea what to do to get back in shape. He doesn't have a lot of time. He's tried other things, and he always gets hurt in the gym. But I could talk for hours. I could talk for hours about Frustrated Frank, because I understand this, on a deeper level. So that is number one, to make sure you understand who is your target market, and everything that you do for marketing should be geared around that person. Okay. The second thing, all right, is your marketing message. Your marketing message. And this is one of the most misunderstood things. So if you really look at this, first you have your target market, and that's who you're actually going after. But now you need to talk about, like, what is the message? What is the thing that makes you different? What is the thing that you're going to put out there that's going to attract your Frustrated Frank? And here's why most marketing doesn't work. Most marketing doesn't work because it promotes who you are and what you do. So I am known in the industry for small group personal training, right? And lots of people have come to me to install small group personal training into their gyms. And I have a lot of people that come to me that they have big box gyms, or they do one-on-one, and they do large group, and they want to install small group. And when I'm considering small group, I'm talking about like 4 people, where you're charging, anywhere from 60 to 70% of what you would charge for a one-on-one. And a lot of people say, I want to do this. I know it's good, but the reality is I don't want another thing to market. I got to market my group. I got to market my thing. And now I got to market small group. That is the biggest mistake. I will tell you this. We have 10 plus years. We have never once said we do small group personal training out in our community. We do not say that, okay? And that is the biggest thing that people want to put, the big picture of themselves. You will not find one picture of me other than a video, but which is that is important to have a video on your website. And we'll talk about that in a second. But there's not pictures of me like posing with my arms crossed, come train with Vince, or anything like that. The marketing must be about not who you are and what you do, because the reality is this: people don't care about you. If you can understand that, and don't take it personally or anything like that, but the reality is people don't care about you. They don't care about your program. They don't care about, what kind of training you have. They don't really even care about what the ratio is and what the kind of exercises you do or anything like that. They care about this. They care about solving their problems. And if you take anything away from this webinar, if you can become a master at solving the problems of your target market, you will get rich in the fitness industry. Okay, that is what you need to do, and you need to ask questions, and you need to think about it. You need to think about what are the problems that my target market has, because that's what they care about. And that's when you start getting people coming to your door and signing up right away, when you communicate them in your marketing that you understand them, you understand what their problem is, and here's proof that we've solved this many times before. I would identify 3 to 4 problems that your target market has. 3 to 4 problems that your target market has. And I'll give you, the R's are basically, we help people lose weight, gain energy, and work out without pain. Like that is like the 40 to 60-year-old adult, that is what they want. They want to lose weight, they want more energy, and they want to not go to the gym and feel their back aching and their shoulder problems and all things like that. That is the problems that they have, and that's what's keeping them in this yo-yo type of thing. So I can't, you could stop here. You could stop here and say, if you can become a master at solving problems for your target market, and you can identify that market, you can identify what problems that they have, you will get rich in the fitness industry. That is a promise. Okay, so when your message is right, when you put an ad out, when you put an email out, when you put anything that you do with your marketing, if they go to your website, the goal is for them to say, for that person, those people that come to your website to say, this is for me. This is for me. That is exactly what you're trying to do. That's one of the reasons why, if you're training men and women, right, that you should have different ads running, that you should have different types of direct mail pieces going to different people. We have, a direct mail piece going on right now that's specifically for women from my wife. My wife is kind of acting as the CEO of the business. You want people to say, this gym understands me better than anyone else. You want them to come and say, I want the Kathy Balsamo plan. Now, some of you have no idea who Kathy Balsamo is, but Kathy Balsamo is a woman that participated in a sweepstakes program, which I will be telling you guys about today. But she basically, I think she lost like 80 pounds or something like that. And she was, got famous in the community. It was almost like the Jared from Subway thing. She was like our spokesperson. And it was so clear, and we did such a good job of getting Kathy's message out and having her tell her story. The people were coming in and sitting down in our consultation and not asking how much it is, and not saying, what do you do and what do you do here? People were sitting down and saying, just do what Kathy did. Like, I want the Kathy Balsamo plan. Just let me get that. They were already sold before they even sat down. And this is, when your marketing message is right, this is how you charge more money. Because people will pay more money when they have the confidence that you are the person that can solve their problem, versus you are the person that gives them workouts, or you are the person that can provide them personal training or a personal training experience. This is how you can charge $300, $400, $500, $600 for a small group personal training membership, like we're doing and like many of our clients using. You guys got to get the messaging right. And when you get the messaging right in your marketing, great things will really start to happen. Here's what's called a USP. USP stands for unique selling proposition. So this is on our website. This is basically on our Facebook page. This is what we say. If we were in an elevator and we wanted to tell someone exactly what we do, is we help people aged 40 plus lose weight, gain energy, and add more life to their years without the use of fad diets and workouts that beat up their body. So that is our marketing message in one sentence. That is our business plan in one sentence. That everything there is, it's who we help, it's what their problems we're trying to solve, it's what we're kind of doing that separates us from the competition. We're calling out the bad guys and all the fad diets and things like that. We're calling out the different gyms that are just beating the hell out of people and not making them feel better. And we clearly can say, who is this gym? What do they do? Who are they for? So here's the formula. I suggest that you definitely do this. But basically, it's we help this target market do this benefit. I would take a picture of this or write this down. Do this benefit and write this down in your notes if you can. I'll keep this slide up for a little bit so you can copy it. So we help this target market do this benefit without, and then call out the stuff that your target market does not want to be a part of. Does not want to be a part of. So like if you're, if you have like a lot of older people like that they don't want to take medications or anything like that. Like our big one is people that are going to gyms, they're just getting beat up and they're going to Orange Theories and they're going, and they're just running for a half an hour and they're getting, all of these kinds of injuries. So we call out, and it's a way that you call out the other people and how you just say that, we're different from these, types of people, and it's done in a nutshell. So this is one of the most powerful things that you can create to really crystallize your marketing message and share this with your team and all your trainers. Like once you have this sentence, it makes everything that you do for marketing a whole lot clearer. So that is marketing message. And the second part of the message, right? Once you get the actual messaging right, one of the biggest problems that people don't do a good job of is what is the offer? What is the offer? That's a big part of the message. So here's like the typical offer, right? Here's the typical offer on the business card. Your phone number, your email, the address, the website, all kinds of stuff. That's the offer. And that's not going to entice anyone to contact you. And now we're getting into one of the biggest principles of direct response marketing is you must have an offer. You must have some kind of an offer in whatever you do. When you post something on Facebook, there should be some kind of an offer or call to action or contact you or message you or something. Otherwise, people are just like, yeah, that's cool. There's got to be something for them to do. That's the whole thing of marketing, is that you get them to respond and you get them to contact you. So I don't know if some of you are my age and you remember this, but there was this like a CD company. CDs, for those of you who don't know, there's these circular discs that you would play music, and there's a hole in the middle, and you'd play music and audios and things like that. But they were like $20 a pop. Like they were really cool back in the day. And they had this ad that would be in every magazine on demand, and it was 12 CDs for 1 cent. And you saw that and you're like, holy cow, like I gotta have that. And everyone bought it. And the reality is it's like a bait and switch offer. And the fine print, you can see like down at the bottom, basically would say, well, if you don't buy 6 in the next 2 days, you're going to prison. And I was like getting followed up to, with all these collection agencies. My mom, I was like in high school, and not even, I was like in middle school. And my mom's like, what are these black and white, letters you're getting in the mail from these collection agencies? And I'm like, I don't know. But it was like, because I hadn't bought the CDs. But the reality is, I'm not saying you should bait and switch people, which is another problem in our industry. But the reality is, this offer was like, holy cow, I want that. And so whatever you put an offer out, it should be compelling. And a lot of the big questions is, should you use free, right? Should you do free stuff, or should you use paid stuff? And the answer is, one, I think you should use both. But the reality is, free trumps paid. To get people in the door, free trumps paid. There's a really good book that you all should read. It's called Predictably Irrational. Predictably Irrational. Take a note on that. But the author's name is a guy named Dan Ariely. And in Predictably Irrational, they did this study where they had different college students, and they put 2 types of piece of chocolate out on a college campus. And one was a Lindt truffle. And the Lindt truffle is basically this very high-end piece of chocolate. It was like 50 cents a piece for this little piece of chocolate. And they put that on a big bucket of them on sale for 15 cents. So it was like a really, really good deal to buy that truffle. And then next to it, they put Hershey Kiss. So all my Pennsylvania people, you guys know that, all right, Hershey Kisses are like a dime a dozen. And they put it in the box next to it, and it was a penny. So you had the Lindt truffles for 15 cents, and then you had the Hershey Kisses that were the penny. And I think 70% of the people spent the 15 cents to buy the truffle versus taking the Hershey Kiss for a penny. And then what they did was they switched it. They moved everything down a cent. So they moved the Hershey Kiss to free. And they moved the Lindt truffle to 14 cents. They brought it down from 15 to 14. And the reality was it totally switched. So they only moved it 1 penny, but when they moved the Hershey Kiss from 1 cent to free, the Hershey Kiss went to 70% and the Lindt truffle went down to 30%. And the reality is this: people are drawn to free. People are drawn to free. And I have a statement that I'm going to say to you right now that may keep you up tonight. Okay? And I call it the empty kettlebell theory. I call it the empty kettlebell theory. And the reality is this: is it costing you more money to have a kettlebell in your gym that's not being used than it is to actually give it that kettlebell for someone to use and give it to them to use for free for that workout? Think about that. The empty kettlebell is no opportunity to get a client. The person using that kettlebell for free, there is a very, very good chance that they could become a client. So the reality is, don't overlook free. Don't overlook free. And if anything, you know, we used to, our initial offer used to be $120 assessment. Like, how silly is that? Like, here, let me tell you how, tight and inflexible and how fat you are, and have you pay me $120 to do it. It's just putting up all kinds of barriers. So I believe free should be very, very a huge part of your front end marketing. It's a really important part of your offer. So here is like an offer track, because a lot of times people get confused with, all right, should I do 6-week challenges or should I do what's called evergreen? And if you don't know what evergreen is basically, that's your consistent marketing plan, where you have a consistent offer that goes out all the time. It's like you have a Facebook ad that drives to a free session or a 30-day trial or something. And a lot of people think that they got to do one or the other, but this is what we've used in our facility, and this is what we teach our guys, is to have this kind of undulating periodization, if you will, to use a term, of challenges, because challenges do work. Challenges do work. I will tell you this: we just signed up. We just finished our winter challenge, and we just signed up about 15 people at about $400 a month to all annual contracts from the challenge. We had about 25 do the challenge, and we closed 15 of them after the 6-week challenge, all into big time contracts. So they work, and you should use them and you should do them. But what happens is, if you start doing challenge after challenge after challenge, people start getting numb to that stuff, and it's just going to stop working. So you got to kind of find a way to break it up. So if you wanted some kind of a track to follow for what your offer should be, it doesn't change your target market. It doesn't change your message or anything like that. It really just changes what the offer is. So this is a good one. So hopefully you wrote that down for that. Hopefully that was enough time. Okay, so now the third thing is we're getting into the tactics, right? We just talked about the foundations of marketing. All right, who is the person that you're going after, and what is that messaging? And that stuff is kind of like, so think about this. If you were to build a home, and most likely, hopefully, if you're going to build a really good home, there's some kind of a meeting that goes on with an architect and a contractor, You probably need both. And there's things called blueprints that are written up that tell us, all right, here's how big the house is going to be. Here's the dimensions of these rooms. Here's what kind of doors we're going to use. Here's what kind of roof. Here's what kind of things. Everything is planned out ahead of time. And the equivalent to the tactics side of marketing, and this is where everyone lives. Everyone lives in the tactics. They want to do Facebook, and they want to do Google. They want to do websites, and they want to do this. And they're all living in the tactical side of marketing, and they're not thinking about the strategy. Now, I'm going to go over the tactics with you guys, but you got to realize that tactics without strategy is not a great recipe for good marketing plan. Okay? So you got to think that you are like those first initial things. You got to think of like you're an architect and a contractor, and you're planning stuff out, And then, you know, all the other stuff is like the Facebook ads and stuff. Those are the tactics, like the doors and the windows and the stuff you do at the end. So it's a really, really important point. Gyms are relying on one way to generate leads, usually depending on a third party to get the leads. And this has crippled many of them. A lot of people are putting the marketing in the hands of other people and not owning it. And it's a really, really big problem. And people are relying on one method, and it's usually Facebook because it worked so well in the past. And now all of a sudden people are panicking because it's not working well and no one had other good stuff in place. And now people are starting to, you know, call me and be like, what the hell do I do? This is a huge, big, if someone ever says this to you and they're a marketing company, run the other way. Run the other way, because they're setting your business up for failure. If they tell you, we'll do the marketing so you can continue doing what you love, training 60 sessions a week. The marketing person that says that to you does not get what training 60 sessions a week does to the human body and the human mind. It is ludicrous. It is a ludicrous statement and is a recipe for you to have a really long road in the fitness industry. This is a really, really important statement here. The owner of the business must know enough to control the marketing. To control the marketing. I'm not saying you have to do everything. I have a Facebook ad guy. I have a Google ad guy. We have people that do a lot of the tactical type stuff. But in my business, I own the marketing, and really now I pass it on to Tom. But someone inside the facility is the architect, is the blueprint, the contractor of the marketing. And I promise you this, it's the most, and that's what this whole program is about. That's what I'm talking to you guys about today. Notice it's not about a tactic and a Facebook ad. It's to teach you a skill. It's to teach you guys a skill of marketing and salesmanship so you guys can have control over your businesses and not give that control from anyone else. One of the most important things you need is multiple ways to market. Multiple ways to market. If you rely on one way to generate leads, you're going to get yourself into trouble. And a lot of people have gotten themselves into trouble with this. So I've invented something called the marketing glove. And the marketing glove is basically, you need 5 sources, 5 tactical sources out there that are basically these little boats that are sent out to generate leads. And I'm going to show you kind of an example of this, but this reduces your risk because, oh yeah, if you have Facebook ads running and it's great, but Facebook shut down the other day, right? And no one got any leads from Facebook that day that it was shut down. And did you just go a whole day without getting one lead, not one phone call, no nothing? Well, string that out several days in a row and you're gonna have some problems. So the marketing glove, multiple ways, multiple methods. That day that Facebook shut down, we had Google ads running, we had emails that were going out, we had our website that was cranking, we had all kinds of things going on, we had community events, we had a referral program set. There's a lot of stuff going on. It reduces your risk for your business. It's going to speed up growth because you're going to grow faster, and it's going to bring your competition to their knees because they're not going to be able to keep up. They're going to be like, how is this person doing? I feel like they're everywhere. And I'm going to kind of show you, how to do it. So this is a sample marketing glove. This is a sample marketing glove. This is not, we do more than this in our business because, like I said, we have a very, very large business and needs a lot of marketing. But if you were to kind of narrow it down, and here's the thing too, don't take this so literally, right? The marketing glove, yeah, it's 5. But if you're doing 1 right now and you go to 2, that's going to be helpful for you. So don't think you need to go from 1 to 5 overnight. You want to work towards it. But that glove that's in place where you have all 5 that are really going strong and really good, I think that that's going to make your business really, really stable and strong. So Facebook ads, email and social media, a referral machine is essential, a sophisticated referral machine, joint ventures, and then grassroots marketing. I'm going to go over more of this later, but that is just a sample of the different tactics that are going on, should be going on all at one time in your business. So number four. So we've gotten target market, we've gotten the message, we've gotten the different tactics that we're actually going to use. Now you need to be able to keep track. And this is like a huge problem. When I get on the phone with people, some of the first things I ask them is like, All right, well, how many leads did you get last week? And they have no idea. They have no idea. They have no idea if they got any leads. They have no idea where the leads came from. They're not keeping track of anything that's going on. The number one thing you need to ease your marketing frustrations is the data. The data. The data that tells you if you're winning or losing, right? Because if you don't have any goals set and you don't have any data that you're tracking, you're going to be in this constant case of uncertainty, of anxiety that you had no idea what the problem is or what you need to do to fix it. So most people get anxiety about marketing because they have no idea where the problem is. They have no idea what the heck is going on in their business because they're not keeping track of anything. Knowing the issues, and the scoreboard tells you what the issues are, knowing the issues gives you control and tells you what to focus on. Because if you're just like not looking at the lead flow of your business and you're not tracking how many people you lose, and you're not tracking any kind of numbers, you might just be looking at your cash in your bank account going down, and you don't know if you're losing people, you don't know if you're not getting enough people, you don't know if people aren't paying enough money, you don't know anything. And it's like flying a plane without the dashboard. Like, can you imagine you drove your car to work this morning and it didn't tell you how much gas you had, and didn't tell you, how cold it was outside, and it didn't tell you how fast you were going, and it didn't tell you what kind of oil you had in your car. It's like you'd be very uncertain. You'd be very uncertain that, getting in your car and driving to work, if you would get there without the car breaking down or running off the side of the road, or if you're going to get pulled over by the cops if you have a radar detector. But that's what it's like. It's like flying a plane or driving a car without some kind of a dashboard. You have no idea what's going on. You have no idea what's going on, and you're flying blind. And you can't drive your car, you can't fly a plane blind. And the same thing, you can't drive your business without knowing these very, very important numbers. So, there's obviously more numbers to a really good scoreboard, but basically, if we're talking about marketing and sales today, it really comes down to these three things. It really comes down to leads. It comes down to trials, and take it for what it's worth. A trial could be, however you do a trial. You could do a 2-week trial, 30-day trial, a free session. It doesn't really matter. There should be something where after you get a lead that you're getting people to test drive your facility. And then the third thing is the money exchange. The third thing is the actual contracts for it. And you should set a goal, and I'll show you how to do that. And then the actual. And every week you should be sitting down and being like, okay, how did we do? How did we do? What did we do? How far away were we? Are we on track, on average for what our goal is? Where's the problem? Is the problem that we're not converting on the phone call? Is the problem that we're not generating enough leads? Is the problem that we're not converting to a contract? The scoreboard tells the story of your business, and without it, it's going to be really hard for you to be a really good entrepreneur and business owner. So this tells you a lot about what things are going on. So let's talk about how you can go from 80 members to 160 members in 12 months. Okay. So in order to go from 80 to 160, you need 80 net members to get to 160, right? So basically, you can't really think of it like that, right? You can't say you need to get 80 members, because you don't. You need to get more than that. So think of it like this. So 80 divided by 12 is 7 members a month, right? 80 divided by 12 is 7 members a month. But the reality is you are going to lose some members. Right? Not people are going to go away, and they're going to move away. They're going to kind of, get injured. Things happen in the gym industry. Not everyone stays forever. So you need to factor in, how many you're going to lose. And what we do is we usually just take 3% per month. So we basically we would take 3% of the 80, and it gives you roughly 2 members. So you would factor in that you're going to lose 2 members per month. So you need 9, right? You need 9 net new members a month, right? To go from 80 clients to 160 clients over a 12-month period. 9 net new members. Well, to get 9 net new members, you need to get 18 people to come in and try your gym. 18 people to come in and try your gym in a given month. And the reality is, I'm fixing this on a 50% conversion rate, which can be skewed. If you close better, If you get 18 people and you close better, it'll be more than 9. But 50%, between 50 and 60% is kind of what we see mainly in the fitness industry. And to get those 18 people, right, you need to get 36 leads. You need to get 36 leads to get 18 trials. So now there's like a marching order, right? There's a marching order of, and if we were to break this down on a weekly basis, which you definitely should do. So you basically have, 36, 18, and 9, 36 leads a month, 18 people to try it, and then 9 net new members a month. That gets you on a monthly basis, month after month. And we're going to talk about consistency here and why this program is so different than all the rest, because it's going to give you a consistent marketing plan to be able to grow your business and make it super, super strong 12 months from now. But we like to break this down because I like you to look at the scoreboard numbers on a weekly basis, and it breaks down to 9 leads a week, 5 trials a week, and 3 contracts a week. So I've obviously rounded up on that, but basically this is 953. So this kind of becomes the weekly plan, right? You sit down on a Monday and you're like, okay, it's 953. We got to hit 953. What did we do last week? We got, 412 or 411. Not good enough. What do we got to fix? Well, that first number is usually the problem. That first number is off. If that 9 number is off, that's going to trickle down to the 5 and the 3. So that's usually what you're going to have to fix first. But what if it's 950 or 951? Now you got a problem with conversion. All right. So you kind of know where to look. But if you don't have the numbers in front of that you're looking at on a regular basis, it's going to be a really, really long climb. Here's a testimonial. And here's the thing with these testimonials. I will promise you this. I've been doing this for 10 years. Okay. I've run my own gym for 10 years. There's not an ounce of in that number that I told you of what my gym does per month. You can call my personal financial guy and on the phone, and he will read off the numbers. There is no fluffing this. I promise you, there's no fluff in any of the testimonials that I'm going to give you. And I will say this, most of the testimonials you will see, these transformations, are longer term transformations, right? Because a lot of what you see in the fitness industry is, hey, they got me 400 leads in 2 days. And it's like, oh, really? Really? And what happened? But the testimonials that I am going to show you are one, the truth, but they are very, very functional to a long-term growth plan. So this is Eric Driver. He owns Mission Fitness in Adrian, Michigan. One of the top members in my mastermind. He is an absolute, his nickname is the Beast, but he came to us. He had 80 members when he started. 80 members when he started, all paying a small amount of money. And he grew his business through all the multiple ways that I'm going to teach you guys today, or I've already taught you, in 6 months. 80 to 160 clients in 6 months. Eric was broken down and a bitter gym owner when he came into the mastermind. All right. He was not happy. He was ready to quit. He was just tired of being a gym owner and tired of doing everything himself. And he was not having a good run. And he has turned it around. This is a picture of him. This is taken right from his Facebook page and a few weeks ago when we had our mastermind in Orlando, that he brought his family down for the entire week a year later after he started the mastermind, and spent the entire week with his family. And I kind of get chills just talking about this, because this is what I'm about. This picture is what I'm about. This is what I'm about doing for gym owners, is to give them this opportunity to give their families better lives. That is what I'm in this for Eric, and that's what I'm in this for you. He has totally transformed everything that he's doing in his business. He is a gym owner that's on fire. He is helping people, but he followed all the things that we talked about today and we'll talk about as well. So super, super proud of this guy. This picture just makes me, just gives me the chills. Awesome job, Eric. So if you're charging $200 a month, these numbers, following these numbers of what I just said, turns a $192,000 gym into a $384,000 gym. If you really, really think about it, if you follow the numbers of what I said before, if you follow this 953, if you get those 36 leads, all right, and that 9 new members a month, if you do that at 200 a month, you're going to have a pretty damn good business, okay? You need to have focus in order to get this stuff done. You must have focus. You must be focused in order to get this done. Steve Jobs said, I was just as proud of what we didn't do at Apple as what we did. Okay, and that's one of the things that I do as a consultant is I not only give you the tools and tactics to have a better marketing plan, but I will get you focused and I will make sure that you stay. And we have a lot of people in my mastermind that focused on athletes when they came in, and they had a great athlete business. And we kind of will shift their focus from athletes to adults because we know that that's a more stable market for them. And they agree on it. And when they agree on it, that their goal is 100 athletes 100 adults over the course of the year. And they go on the Facebook page and they post something about, hey, I want to explore supplements, or hey, you know, I want to do this seminar with this physical therapist to promote my athlete population. And I will chime in and say, what is your focus? What are you focused on? And they will usually chime back with 100 adult members, you know, by the next year. And I was like, then don't ask me that question. Go back and go focus on those 100 adult members. So that is the number one thing that you need, is you need to be focused. And this is where the fifth and most important part of the marketing plan comes in. It is the system. It's the system that kind of drives all of this stuff together. And there's 3 parts to the marketing system that I teach. And this is the system that I use in my own business. And this is the system that I teach to all the successful people that you've seen. And you're going to see plenty more of the stories today. There's 3 parts. There's an attraction system, there's a nurture system, and there's a conversion system. And these are the 3 parts of your marketing system that you must have in place. So your attraction system is getting them to contact you. Your nurturing system is getting them to actually come in. And your conversion system is getting them to buy. So let me kind of unpack these. So your attraction system, these are the tactics. So I kind of went over the tactics of this, and this is, you know, the attraction is basically, it's lead generation, if you will. You know, the goal is to get someone to raise their hand and say, I'm interested in what you do. And like I said before, the biggest mistake here is not using multiple methods. But this attraction system, this generating of leads, all comes down to you having this focus on these different methods. So let me go through a bunch of different things that you can do or should be doing to have a really, really good attraction system in place. So I talked about the marketing glove, right? The marketing glove. And there is a thumb of the marketing glove. So the thumb is your strongest finger, right? Thumb is your strongest finger. And the thumb is the one thing that really can make or break the hand. And this is your referral system. And most gyms will say, when I ask gyms like how, you know, where they get their biggest source of qualified clients for, is they usually say referrals. But they usually say, yeah, word of mouth, referrals, and things like that. And then I follow up with the question of, okay, well, what if that's the number one thing that you do? What actually do you do to generate referrals? And it's always like crickets. It's always crickets. That they don't say, well, I don't do anything. They just come in. You know, we do a good job with our clients, and they come in. And the reality is, here's the most effective thing that they're doing, and yet they're not maximizing it. So having a sophisticated referral system, this is like where you can now have your marketing going on when you're sleeping, right? If you build a system where every time you sit down with a new client and they sign up for a membership and you give them a black metal card that basically, you know, gives them a free membership to give as a friend, like that is a system set up. And then you have a system set up to respond and reach out to them to see if they give it to their people yet. It is a very, very lucrative way to run a business, because referred clients are better clients than clients you would get off social media and websites and things like that. When usually, you know, when one of your, you sit down with a client that's a friend of one of your members, that things are going to go really, really well with that. So that is the first system in your attraction system that you got to have in place. Facebook. Now, I've talked a lot of crap about Facebook, but I also still use it, right? And it's still a very focal point of my marketing plan. Like Facebook is a really, really important part of our marketing system. The problem I see, and one of the reasons why I talk crap on it, is basically I want to get people out of the mindset that they can't just rely on this. That when Facebook is shut down for the day, your business is shut down for the day in terms of the inflow of your new clients. So it's really, really important that you guys are focusing on other sources outside of this. That being said, this is a great way to generate leads. This is one of our highest performing ads on Facebook. We've advertised on Facebook since 2015. We have tons of different ones that work. And the reality is this is that frustrated Frank, ad for an avatar. But this ad worked really, really well for almost 3 years. And then it stopped working. And that's the reality of this. This stuff doesn't work forever. There's all kinds of changes that are made to these platforms that you need to make sure you're staying up on. And that's one of the reasons why I have a guy named Kylie Lynch, who I'll introduce you at the end, that runs our Facebook ads. And he's the one going in and looking at the ads and changing things and making split testing and all types of stuff like that. So I definitely think you should be marketing on Facebook. It's a great way to market. The beef I have with it is just people solely rely on it. And it's just not a great thing to rely on, especially at this point right now. So you should be marketing on Facebook. You should be using Facebook, just not putting all your eggs into this basket. But this is an ad that performed very well for us. You can see some really simple copy, but also a really well done video, a testimonial video that really described exactly the type of person, that frustrated Frank type person that we were going after. You need a website. You need a good website right now. A lot of people don't focus on it. And if they do focus on it, they focus how good it looks and how pretty it looks and the flash and all the kinds of stuff like that. And that doesn't matter. The secret to a good website is getting it to convert. Getting it to convert. Do people that come to your website actually call you? Do they call the number that you put on the website? Do they opt into your website? 2019 is a big year of the website. I think the fitness industry and the gym industry has done a bad job of staying on top of websites because they relied on Facebook for so long. Your site must be optimized in 2019. Your site must be optimized in 2019 to be able to convert. And I am working on a major project right now that's building out a website template that I'm going to make part of when you become a member of the mastermind, that you actually can use that template. And it's going to be all set up with all kinds of different templates that you can just put all your personal stuff in there and be ready to rock. So I'm a little ways away from it, but right now, 2019 is definitely a year that you want to have your website in check, because Google is the largest search engine in the world. And you should be marketing on Google. You should have ads running on Google. It's the largest search engine in the world. It's probably a great place. This is the first year that we've run Google ads. It's going very well. And I have a guy that's doing a talk for my mastermind all about Google ads. And I'm going to show you how you can get access to that presentation on how you can win with Google ads. But hey, if there's a ton of people going to it, it's probably, and they're already searching for personal training in your area, it's probably a great place to pop up. It's a great place to drive people to your newly converted website. So you've got to be thinking about using Google as one of your ways to attract customers. Email's dead, right? Email's dead, right? No one uses email anymore. Why should you have an email? Massive mistake. Massive mistake. Well, how did all of you get to this webinar? All of you got to this webinar through an email, and all of you showed up. All of you that showed up to this webinar showed up, and you showed up because of all the emails I was sending you to remind you of this. Email is not dead. Email is not dead. We had a challenge a few years ago where we did it. We didn't do any ads at all. No ads. The only thing we did was email. And we put 22 people into a challenge just on email alone. 22 people into a 6-week challenge. Those are non-members. And 16 of them signed up. 16 of the 22 signed up for a membership. All lifetime value about $5,000. Lifetime value $5,000. So all in a few emails. So email is not dead. People do read their emails. Now, I will say this, people are weaving through a lot of emails. And there's some very specific things that you need to do to be able to get your email opened. And one of that is the subject line. I teach a lot about subject lines in one of the modules in the Surge program. But the reality is email is one of the best ways to get people to respond to you immediately. You could put out an email and say, hey, we're having this free session or this free thing. Just reply to this email if you want a spot. And there's this immediate action being taken. So email is a great, great tool to use for this direct response marketing appeal. You've got to be using email, and you've got to be using it very, very strategically. The average email in our mastermind emails 3 times a week. 3 times a week. GFP we email 5 days a week. So a really, really important part of your attraction system is to utilize email. Don't ignore the grassroots stuff. Don't ignore the grassroots stuff. This is us at one of the 5Ks where we put this muscle guy out and people will pop up and take pictures, and we had like hundreds of people come and take pictures, and we post their pictures on social media. This being part of the community is very important. Is a very important thing for a brick and mortar business. It is massively important. Do not think that these local hokey 5K type races do not bring, there's a specific way to do it, right? There's specific things you need to do and what kind of flyers you need to bring and what you should give away and different types of people to talk to and how you can leverage the different vendors that are there and things like that. There's tons of stuff to do. But the reality is this should not be overlooked. You got it. If you are all community-based businesses, even like these you'll start to see like Orange Theory start doing this stuff. Like they're a national brand, but they're starting to go to these things because they're realizing, hey, I just can't rely on our ads alone and our branding alone. They're getting out and they're going to the community. So you as a local business, you've got to be doing the stuff that needs to be built into your marketing plan. So we'll look at the calendar and we'll say, all right, what kind of events are going on in our community? Well, there's a winter walk, there's a race, there's a charity event, there's all kinds of stuff going on all the time. Silent auction, we give out a silent auction basket once a month. Vanessa and I am away for going to a party tonight. And at the party, Gabriel Fitness is giving a basket, for people to opt into it. It's a way to get a really good qualified lead. So you've got to be using this grassroots stuff and building this grassroots marketing into a good marketing plan. Okay. Joint ventures are massive. I tell you, we built a 7-figure business without running one Facebook ad. That our business hit 7 figures pretty much on this grassroots marketing and joint ventures alone. We did very, very well with these 2 things. Joint ventures are basically you aligning yourself with other businesses, say a physical therapy unit, a chiropractor, an orthopedic doctor, a yoga studio, all these different things that they have your target market that you can then align yourself with these different businesses to be able to help each other out and get in front of your potential customers. So we have a dance school next to us. And the dance school is filled with the exact type of people, the 40, 60-year-old mom and dad that got young kids that want to get in shape. It is a perfect joint venture. And I'll tell the story later if you end up coming to my mentorship, which is the 2-day seminar at my gym. But I tell the story of how I sold my wife to the dance school for joint venture relationships. So there's a lot you can do here. This is a very overlooked component to your attraction system and you getting in front of really, really highly qualified people. Jay Abraham is one of the top marketers on the planet. He basically said that if he had one way to market, he would do joint ventures. So, I mean, pretty smart dudes. So definitely want to include joint ventures in your attraction system. Print advertising, like, oh yeah, magazines, newspapers, that stuff doesn't work. Well, if you understand the principles of direct response marketing, it does. So the picture of the turkey is a restaurant, a local restaurant. How many people do you think went to that restaurant from that ad? Zero. I promise you. They didn't get it. And if they did, they probably didn't track it, right? Now, look at the one on the right, which is mine. And if you look at the different types of principles of marketing that follow, one, there's a really good headline, fit over 40. Two, there's a very, very specific target market in the picture. Three, there's somewhat of a story, how these local women got in the best shape of their lives. And then on the bottom, and now if you see, look where our logo is at the bottom, right? Gabriel Fitness, the very, very bottom. And look where their logo is, front and center. They made it about them. We made it about the people in this story. And if you see the bottom right, you'll look at calls to action. See inside article. We did an article on the inside. See page 2. So it's telling them to go to an article, and we created something called an advertorial, which basically was a story about these 4 women and talked about the different tips that they had. So basically we were giving value. We were telling a story about these women's success, but at the same time, they were giving fitness tips to people that read. I believe we got about 60 something people to download the recipe book. So GFP recipes at the bottom there is a free recipe guide. And I believe that we got about 4 clients from this, 4 clients from this. Remember, our average value is about $5,000 a piece, cost us about $2,000. So $2,000 for this cover, 4 or 5 clients, I think four clients at $5,000 a piece. So I'll make that investment all day. We're doing it again. They only allow, I would have taken the cover almost every month if they would have let me, but they only allow 1 cover a year for that. So think of it, the print works. And here's the thing, what works? You know what works? Anywhere where your client is going to be. That's where you should be marketing. Anywhere, if your client reads the collection, you should be marketing in the collection. If your client reads that local hokey newspaper that's got 2 pages in it, all right, probably a great place to be. On average, there's 5 pieces of mail that come to people's mailbox and 180 emails or something like that. It's crazy. Getting in the mail is essential, physical mail. And this is not just for marketing, but actually doing things like gifts for clients and things like that in the mail. We send a welcome gift to all of our members when someone signs up, and we send them this big box in the mail, and it's kind of like they're like go crazy over this stuff. But when you show up in the mail, you're putting yourself in a whole different category of this. So this is the difference. So print advertising works. It's just how you do it. So if you tried it before and it didn't work, it's not the media. It's how it was done, because this was done not that long ago, a couple months ago, and it worked like gangbusters. And the final thing, and this is more of an offer, but I'm going to talk to you a little bit right now about the sweepstakes. And this is the single most effective marketing campaign we've ever done. Absolutely lit our gym on fire. And this one event, the sweepstakes, has the power to transform your entire business. The most successful people that have had this huge transformation, Eric Driver, who I talked about earlier, did the sweepstakes. Kyle Newell has done the sweepstakes. I'm going to show you a bunch of more people that have done it. But it is the thing that will set your gym on fire. No, I promise you this, nobody in the fitness industry is teaching this. Nobody. You will not find this sweepstakes anywhere. And I'm kind of working hard to trademark it so no one else can teach it, because I feel like these fly-by-night guys are going to catch on to this and start teaching this. But let me kind of give you the lowdown. Here's what you do. You give away 4 6-week transformation packages. You load everything you got into this offer. You give them personal accountability. You give them the highest level membership you have, and you build this thing up. You build this thing up, and you put the offer out, and you have them fill out an application. And it's free. And they have to fill out the application, and you pick 4 people to be the winners. And what you do is those winners, you follow them. You follow them for, say, for the 6 weeks, and you drip all of their stories onto social media. All right, you drip all the stories onto social media, and basically you create this documentary style thing. Well, I will tell you this, when we did this, it set our community on fire. I will tell you this, everyone was saying, what the hell is going on down there at Gabriel Fitness? We had the entire community talking about our gym because of the sweepstakes. And this was one of the first things we did when I came back in and told you kind of that whole turning point in the gym. This was one of the first things that we did. And it lit our gym on fire. And that was the catapult. I think that 1 year right after we did the sweepstakes, we added about $200,000 in additional revenue from the sweepstakes, from adult market alone. $200,000 in additional revenue just in 1 year. That's after being in business for 6 years or 7 years. So this one event has the power to transform your entire business. This is a really, really important part of what we teach at SVF Mastermind. I did a full presentation on it, 2-hour presentation on the sweepstakes in the Orlando Mastermind. And we have about almost all 40 guys in the Mastermind that are now running this program right now. And the cool thing is we have everything done. We have the landing pages done. If we just gave it to them all and they just ran with it. But the sweepstakes is something that you have to have in your pocket as a tool. And this will create a flood of really, really qualified people, because when they have to apply for it, we created like a really lengthy application for this. And basically the application totally pre-qualified them. And when you get an application, it's not like, hey, they filled out a lead form or it auto-populated their name and email, right? This is them answering, a dozen questions that get deep into their psychology about why they would want something like this. And there's a whole system we use to get all the people that fill out the application to come into the gym. But the sweepstakes is a definite something that you want to have in your marketing repertoire. Okay, so that is your attraction system. That is how you're generating leads. You're getting people to come and raise their hand and say, I am interested in what you guys do. The second thing you need, the second part of the marketing system, is a nurture system. So I have no idea who this guy is, but I took my wife to go get her oil change and I dropped her off. And in my car, the guy, he worked at the tire shop or the oil change place. And he looked at my tires and he's like, hey man, you need new tires. And I was like, all right, do some research and send me an estimate. And so he calls me and says, hey, left me a message on voicemail. He calls me and says, hey, I got your estimate. And I'm busy. I have 3 kids, I got a lot of stuff going on, running 2 businesses, and I didn't call him back. And a month later, I went back there and I saw the guy. It's like, hey, do you still got that estimate? And he goes, no, I don't got that estimate. And I was like, what? He's like, no. He's like, you people ask me for these estimates and then you don't call me back. So I threw it in the garbage. What? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? That here is someone that an estimate is like the highest qualified lead that you could possibly get, right? I was there. I talked to him in person. That's like someone showing up to your gym and you not getting and saying they're interested in training and you not getting their contact information. That's what it's like. You got to know this about human beings. You got to know this. And the more you understand about humans and psychology, the better you'll understand marketing. You just have to understand this as a human principle that people are indecisive. That is just a human principle. And if you can understand that, that is going to change the entire way that you follow up with people after they contact you. It takes 7 to 10 times for people to make a decision. And it's probably becoming more than that. I will tell you this. We have a joke in my mastermind. One of the guys, Tommy, he saw my ad for the mentorship. He signed up for the mentorship and then joined the mastermind. And he said he saw my ad like 11 times before he made the decision to call me. And then finally, even on the call, he's hemming and hawing about the price. He's like, I don't know. But the reality was, and now he's in the mastermind now. He's totally turning his business around. He's hired his first employee. He's like totally on cloud 9 right now. But the reality is, if I show that ad once, things don't change for him. Things don't change. You got to understand this principle, and not having a nurture system leaves serious money on the table. Serious money on the table. I promise you this. If I was to take over your business, right? Let's say you just wanted to quit. Let's say you just want out, Vince, just take over my business. I would promise you that I could kind of totally revigorate that thing and take that thing to another level by calling all of your past clients and lost leads and getting them back in the door. Because the reality is this, people still want to come to your gym. People still want to come to your gym. The reality is you're just not contacting them about it. And they're not going to contact you. So the reality is you're going to need to go to them. They can live without your gym, right? But you can't live without them coming to your gym. Understanding this makes anxiety about people not buying disappear. All right. Oh, that no show, for the consult, or the call that you have to make, 5 times to finally get them in the door. The person you have to reach out to, that's doing a trial membership, the person you have to reach out to 4 or 5 times to finally get them to sign the contract or even come in for the goal meeting. When you just understand this, that this is just normal human behavior, you can't take it personally. This is just people, right? This is just people. So you must have a system in place that understands this principle. I will tell you this, people that go on hold, okay, are telling you that they may quit. Someone that goes to the gym and they want to freeze their membership, all right, they're telling you that they're probably going to quit. Wouldn't it make sense to tie an umbilical cord to all of the clients that you have on hold, to nurture these people, to send them an email a week, to send them stuff that they can do on their own, because they're not paying you right now. And you're probably not going to hold them accountable to their contract, right? So they're just going to go on hold for 3 months and then tell you, yeah, extend it 1 more month. Oh yeah, I'm coming back later. Oh yeah, no, I'm just canceling it. But if you were to stay in touch with them on a regular basis and deliver value and understand that, it's a really, really important thing to do. People that leave are not telling you they would never come back. 15% of our clients last year were former members. People that leave are not telling you they would never come back. Most people leave because life got in the way. I used to do yoga, right? And I tell you this, I want to go back so bad. And I'm like, now I would have gone back by now, but now I'm just like, I'm just waiting for them to call. If they had called me 6 months ago, I would have got back. I left because I just got busy with my life and yoga wasn't fitting. But now I could use some freaking yoga. I'll tell you that right now. And I'm not like getting my head around making the call. But if they called me and said, hey, why don't you come back? Why don't you come back and your first month's on us? I would do it. I would do it in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Your former members you're sitting on so much cash right now by just not reaching out to your former members. But this is all part of the nurture system, staying connected. So you have to nurture the people, the leads that come in. You have to nurture the people on hold. You have to nurture your former members. You've got to know that people eventually will come back. All right. And then the final system is your conversion system, right? How do you turn this into money? And I'm a big believer in the consultation. I'm a big believer in having some kind of a 30-minute or 1 hour period where you're sitting down, knee to knee with them, and you're saying, how can I help you? What are your problems? What are the things going on that we can help you with? And I'm a big fan of the conversion system of having some kind of a test drive, right? Think of it like this. It's like you go to test drive a car, right? And the equivalent of what a lot of people do is like, yeah, they show them the car and the car's in the showroom, you sit in the car and then, they ask you if you want to buy it. And the test drive is not even going for a drive. The test drive is, hey, here are the keys. Take the car home for a week and then just drive it around and then let me know how you like it and then bring it back and we'll make a deal after that. That's a test drive. You need something like that in your business because here's the thing, the whole sales thing with these, being really good at, overcoming objections and that kind of bullshit and things like that. Now, I think you should learn that stuff. But the reality is this, is if you give your people an opportunity to test drive your product, that is the best sales pitch you could ever do. That is the best sales pitch that you could ever do. So having something sophisticated in place and having a nurture system during that test drive is essential. So we have a whole series of emails and text messages, and we have a whole person dedicated to, we have Megan in our gym, who some of you know, but she spends probably 10 to 15 hours a week just following up with the people that we have on trial. calling them and saying that's a nurture system, people during the trial. Your pricing strategy, I can't stress enough how important your pricing is. Okay, your pricing strategy is an immense part of your conversion system, because I'll tell you this, most of you are not making enough money because you're not charging enough money. And when you can get the courage to be able to charge more money, your business is going to take it to another level. And your back-end sales strategy is important, right? That's the conversion of the current people that you have. You know, are you upselling them to higher level memberships? Are you selling supplements and things like that? So the conversion system is a really important part. So let me go over this formula, all right? Let me go over this formula. So in our attraction system that I just went over, if we could use this attraction system to generate 30 leads a month, okay? And I chose 30 leads because 30 leads is a lead a day. It's about a lead a day. It's one phone call, it's one opt-in, it's one walk-in, it's one person a day. And maybe if you're closed on Sunday, you got to get 2 on Monday or whatever. 1 a day. Half of those people, you got to try and bring in for some kind of a trial, some kind of a test drive, some kind of thing where it says, try us out, see how it goes. Whether that's paid or free, doesn't matter at this point right now, but that is your nurture system, that we got to get them actually in the door with this nurture system. And let's convert 50%. Let's get 15 trials in. And now let's take 7 members a month. 7 members a month from those 15 trials onto a conversion system into, because I believe in the 12-month contract. A lot of people are trying to go away with it and saying, just do month to month. I am not a big fan of that. I feel you should sell fitness the way you believe fitness should be done. And most people believe that this is a commitment in the long term. So I'm still strongly behind the 12-month contract. It's what we do in our facility. I realize some people are talking about going month to month all the time. We do have a month-to-month option, but the reality is 12-month contracts, even if you don't enforce it, there's a psychology behind it that they committed to 12 months. And that holds a lot of people there for a longer time. So 7 members a month, let's say they spend, about $200 a month, which I picked a very, very liberal number. I think you should be charging more of that. Again, a lot of it depends on what kind of training you're doing and stuff like that. So it's a $2,400 client, all right, $2,400 client, each one. So that's basically 84 new members. If you bring in, over the course of that year, if you bring in 84 new members, that brings in a total of $201,600 in new revenue, all right, $201,600, 84 new members. This is your business plan. A lead a day. You're a lead a day, 1 lead a day. Can you get 1 lead a day? If you have 5 things out there, if you got grassroots marketing going on, if you got joint ventures all over the place, if you got a Facebook ad running, right? And you got a referral system that's cranking, and you got an email that's going out 3 times a week, can you get 1 lead a day? And 1 lead a day gets you 84 new members in a year. And if you don't think it's possible, here's what it is. This is Jimmy McCurry, okay? When he started in the mastermind, he was at 221,000. And 12 months later, he's at 394K. I swear on my mother that these are legitimate numbers, and I can show you, and actually I've emailed about this, and where he shows me the actual text message that he sends this to me. So there's no bullshit here, and there's no fluff in any of this stuff, okay? But this is very, very, very possible. Now, is this normal? No, right? This is a great success story. This is a total business transformation. And this guy's got a whole new host of problems of trying to build a team and all kinds of things like that. You have a whole different business. But the reality is, that's it. A lead a day. Don't tell me that you can't get a lead a day. This guy certainly did. He did more. So the system will set you free. The system will set you free. A predictable, reliable, consistent marketing system is the key to these results. That is what I'm about, and that's what I teach. I'm not teaching you a get-rich-quick scheme. I'm not teaching you a lead flood program. I'm teaching you a system that you can use, and you can take this system that I'm teaching you, and you can close your gym, and you can go and open up a yogurt store, and you can use these same principles that I'm teaching. This is just going to make you an overall better business person when you can understand the marketing and the sales. And if you go back many slides, you, the owner of your business, you must get this. You must understand marketing. You must know that you must be the master of the marketing, and you must control the strength of all of it. And you giving your marketing up to some Facebook ad guy that just understands, how to run Facebook ads and how to tweet the copy, and doesn't understand target market, and doesn't understand marketing message, and doesn't understand that you need multiple ways to grow, because he doesn't want you to have multiple ways, because he wants you to depend on him. It's putting your business in a really bad spot. The system will set you free. And I wasn't going to share this today, but I'm going to. So 2 years ago, my dad, my father, Joe Gabriel, had a stroke. And it was one of the worst strokes that I've ever seen. It totally, completely paralyzed the right side of his body. He could not speak. He still cannot speak. It's an awful situation. And I don't want to bring down the energy of the group. But the reality is this. 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, in the month of August, I was pulled away from my business because of this tragic event. And I found myself driving into New York City every day and having to make life and death decisions, and being there for my mom and being there for my sisters, and trying to be a dad to my kids and trying to be a husband to my wife all at the same time. And the reality was, my business was set up to set me free. My business gave me my business said, go be with your family. Go take care of the most important things that you need to take care of. And that was the most proud I ever was of my business. The most proud I ever was when I just left for the entire month of August, the entire month, which is usually a crappy month. We ended up having the best August we've ever had in there. And it showed me, it's like, okay, this thing is good. This thing is good to go. This will run without me having to be there all the time. And the reality was, it gave me the biggest gift in the world, the best gift in the world. And that was to be able to step up and be there for my family. And what was I supposed to say? Sorry, Mom, can't go to the appointment because I got to train sessions. Not what I wanted to say to her. Not what I wanted to say to her, and probably not what you wanted to say to your family member that would need you. And I don't want this to happen to you, right? I don't want this to, I hope this happens on, you go on vacation, and I kind of figured this out by accident. I feel like I always say, my dad gave me this gift where he said, go, you can leave your gym now, it's set up, go start a consulting business and help other people build what you built. That was what my dad was telling me when he went through this. And it's a challenging thing for me to talk about, because it's honestly, my dad is still, it's an awful situation. He still cannot speak. He cannot walk. It's awful. It's the worst thing in the world. But the reality is, during that tragic time of my life, my business still ran. It still grew. I had a great team that stepped up, but it was this marketing system that was in place that enabled me and gave me the freedom to leave my business and go be with the most important people in my life. And I want to create that. I want to create that opportunity for you. So do you want me to help you implement this into your business within 6 weeks? That's the question. And let's talk about you guys for a second, right? So you need a better system to generate leads on a consistent basis. We've kind of talked about consistency being a theme here, right? The consistency is a big theme that a lot of times people, they get a flood of leads and they do a challenge or something like that, and all of a sudden it just dies down. The whole purpose of my system is to give you consistency, and that the multiple streams of marketing, like where your marketing glove, will bring that to you. That wearing a marketing glove will make your business a whole lot stronger. You're only about a lead a day from potentially doubling your business, and that's not fluffing anything. If you go back and try this all on your own, right? All the stuff that I taught you today, if you go back and just try and influence on your own, you're likely, hopefully you can do it, but you're likely to hit roadblocks and have a lot of questions, about this. And that's why I created this program. So this is the 6-week new client surge program that I want to take a few minutes to tell you about. I've gotten lots of questions about the program, and I've gone through it once before. We had 30 gym owners go through it. I'm going to share a bunch of the success stories with you, but I'm really, really proud of this program because it's so different than everything else out there, because it teaches you a system. It teaches you a system of how you can install a marketing system inside of your business that what these guys teach is they teach you to stay connected to them. Whereas the 6-week surge, I'm teaching it to you so you can go off and do it, right? So you can go off and become the master of your marketing. And I'll be honest with you, it's not like I'm not just going to give you all this done for you crap, right? I'm not just give you, here's the swipe file, and we have swipe files and we have all that stuff. But the reality is, if you don't understand the principles of marketing, if you don't understand this from the get-go, it's going to be really hard, to grow a great business. And like I said, you could start a yogurt store with the same principles on this. You are just going to learn really, you're going to become a great business person in 6 weeks, if you will. Okay, so it gives you a marketing machine for your business so you can finally control and own the lead and cash flow to your gym. It's the anti-6-week challenge lead gen system. And the surge gives you the marketing building blocks to win for the long haul. Here are the goals: to increase your business by 50 to 250% in the next 12 months. Install a predictable, reliable marketing system into your business and give you full control and certainty over the most important part of your business, which is your sales and marketing. Here's the structure of it. It's live coaching, guys. This is not me, just kind of spouting off and me recording a bunch of stuff and saying, here, go through this on your own time. We are going to go through this together. I am an offensive lineman, right? I work my ass off. We are going to roll up our sleeves and get our hands dirty, and we are going to go through this together. So it's live, the coaching sessions. And I will tell you, and you can kind of see, most webinars are done by this point right now, but these are live coaching sessions. Some of the sessions went almost 3 hours. I am going to give you everything that I've got. There's a whole teaching portion of it, similar to what we did, and then a long Q&A section of it. There's ongoing coaching and support between the live modules. So for all 6 weeks, I'm going to be coaching you, and I'm not just going to answer questions based on what you guys are doing in the modules. If you have questions about your team, a lot of people even ask me questions, and some of you responded to the question that I asked you. But a lot of you ask questions about hiring people and team and your time management, and all kinds of stuff like that. All that stuff is open game. You have access to me for 6 weeks, and you can ask me any kinds of questions you want about your business. It's not just related to what we're going to do in the 6 weeks. There's implementation and bridge work. So bridge work is homework. And since there's 6 modules, the bridge work it stands for bridging the gap between the module. So module 1, there's work that needs to be done before we get to module 2. So everything kind of builds on itself. And I'm not going to lie to you, this will be some work. This will definitely be, some work to kind of get through this. But I will tell you this, the results at the end are going to be outstanding for you guys. Boatloads of tools, swipe files, and sample ads, and then you actually get lifetime access to the program like this. So this is for you. This is for you if you're struggling to generate a consistent flow of leads to your gym. If you're kind of get confused on which marketing tactics are best to bring in high quality leads, right? If you don't have a concrete referral system in place, and this is for you if you lack a predictable process of getting leads to convert to actual new members. This is for you if you're struggling to make the amount of profit you want, because we're going to talk about pricing and how much profit you're actually making in your business, not just top line revenue, and because your pricing structure is not working. You want a full-blown lead system to bring in the highest quality leads, and you want to own the marketing of your business and be fully in control of the future of your business. So here's the kind of the curriculum. These are all the 6 live events that we'll be doing together. Number 1 is the foundations, and this is where I'm really going to teach you about the difference between direct response marketing branding. And we kind of glanced over it today with direct response marketing. And I tell you this, if you can learn these skills of being a better direct response marketer and not focus on branding, which is a bunch of hogwash that people are doing and not getting any results with, the reality is you're going to get more clients if you can follow the style of marketing. We will get dialed in onto your target market. We will dial into your target market. This will be a huge portion of the thing to make sure that you truly understand your target market. You know what problems they want to solve. You know everything about that market. I'm going to give you a series of questions to answer, a ton of stuff. And then we'll also help you with your marketing plan in terms of your marketing calendar and how to actually set up a quarterly marketing plan, right? So we don't actually have you do a 12-month calendar. We actually have you do a quarter. So we teach you to do it like right before the quarter starts, like a month before the quarter starts. We'll have you create this whole, and we have a whole system where you just look at a calendar and you fill in exactly what you do. But that is an important part of having a plan. But these are basically the foundations talked about, like, this is the blueprint, right? Talked about the architect and the contractor. This is, that blueprint. The second module is going to be lead conversion. Right, so this is where we're going to convert leads to money. I'm going to go in depth on the scoreboard. In depth on the scoreboard. It is. I can't tell you how important having a scoreboard is. And if you take, there's a lot of things you can take from what I told you today. But the scoreboard is like, you got to know the numbers, man. You got to know the numbers of your business. You got to really truly understand of the metrics tell the story. The metrics tells you where the problems lie. We're going to help you build a system, all right, to get leads to show up for the first time. So those people that raise their hand, how actually can you get them in the door for that first time, that first consultation or workout, whatever it is. How to install a consultative selling process. A consultative selling process. We are going to help you turn into what's called a trusted advisor for your new clients. That you are not sitting down with these new clients and taking them through this consultative process. And now you're not saying, we do this and we do that, and we got a small group over here and we do this. No, you're saying, how can we help you? And you're consulting them on how you can help them solve their problem. And that, when you can learn those skills, will take your sales process to a whole nother level. And how to convert them into long-term memberships. That's what I'm about. And that's why you'll see a lot of my testimonials will say X amount of dollars in recurring revenue. Because when they're selling recurring revenue, and a lot of times people will say, oh, they did. And I will tell you, because I do this once or twice in there when they get lifetime value. I will always tell you that it's lifetime value. But a lot of times people will sell month-to-month memberships, and they will basically say, bank on that they signed a 12-month. We're getting people actually sign contracts for these 12-month processes. Building your referral machine. That's the thumb of the marketing glove. The thumb. I'm going to talk to you about the 4 parts to the referral machine and the core referral generating tactics that you must be using. This needs to be a system in and of itself. This must be a system in and of itself. I'm going to teach you a concept called omnipresence. Omnipresence is key, where you put your logo, and this is not branding. Don't confuse omnipresence and branding, where you put your t-shirts and your logo in your client's minds, and where you can put your logo and things like that in your client's mind. Referrals happen from a conversation, right? Referrals happen from a conversation. So that is what you want to try and drive with omnipresence, is to keep your business in the minds of your client, so they can, when they have that conversation with these people, they can then bring your name up, and that drives referrals. Dominating email and social media. I cannot stress enough how important it is to be good on email. I cannot stress enough. When Facebook was down, you still had the ability to reach your clients in a moment's notice. Okay, so I'm going to teach you the 3 types of content pieces you need to know, and this goes for email and social media. So I'm not just going to talk about, I'm going to talk mostly probably about Facebook. We'll mention some Instagram stuff, but mainly email is going to be the crux of this module, and how you can really, really leverage this list, and also how you can leverage the lists of other different joint ventures in your community. So email is massive. We have made gobs of money with email over the last several years. How often to post, the 9 different types of emails and posts, how to write subject lines that jack up open rates, and how to build your actual list. We'll talk to you how to, list building strategies to actually have your email list. grow. Brian Sippets is kind of an email guru. We've helped him turn him into, but he's been a coaching client of mine for a while now. And a lot of the testimonials I'll show you will be money, right? Will be money. But this one's a little different, and he's made more money. Definitely he's grown his business a ton. But the reality is, this is his testimonial. Now I can take trips with the family while things run smooth at home. And I talked to you guys about that Eric Driver testimonial and showing the picture of his kids at the pool. This is what I'm about. This is what I'm about. I'm about helping you get freedom. And I'm going to help about giving you that marketing system that gives you that freedom so you can go and enjoy your life as a gym owner. And I'll be honest with you, I sit down with a lot of people that are just, they're fried. They're burnt out, they're fried, and they don't want to do this anymore, and they don't know a way out, and they don't know how to do anything else. And I tell you this, it is very, very possible to have a load of success in the fitness industry. I promise you this. I've done it myself, and I've helped many guys do it. But this is what I'm about. This is what makes me come alive, and this is why I do what I do, to help people like Brian Sippets sit at the breakfast table with his kids while his gym runs smoothly. And you can't do that without a really good marketing and sales system in place. Okay? We will talk about Facebook ads. We will talk about Facebook ads. We'll have an entire module that'll be generated just for Facebook ads. It is important. You should be doing it. But here's the thing. We're also going to be talking about the changes being made in Facebook, because there's a lot of different changes that have been made, and we'll talk about how to set up, and select the right targeting, how to get your ads approved. Huge frustration for people of how to get ads approved, how to drop your cost per lead. My guy, Kylie Lynch, that'll be doing this. He dropped our cost per lead dramatically when he took over our ads. So that is a huge thing, that he'll be talking about, is how to drop your cost per lead, and which different images and copy are working best right now, and how to maximize your responses from the ads. And then the last module will be about the pricing strategy, right? This may be the most important strategy on it, because this will make you money the fastest. This will make you money the fastest. If you can raise your prices, you are going to be in a really good spot very, very quickly. If you can increase, if you have the strategies, know how to increase the average value per member, boom, you are going to do really, really well. And if you can maximize sales, back-end sales, with things like supplements and other things like that, and having a system in place to move people up the chain. So for example, if they're training with you twice a week, you have a system in place to get them to 3 times a week or 4 times a week. So they're paying you more money per month. So this is a massive, important module. And I'll talk about a concept called price elasticity, which kind of proves to you that it doesn't really matter what your competition is charging. It all matters on how you position yourself to be able to charge that kind of money. Here's a guy, Brandon Kelly. He increased his recurring revenue by $4,000 in one day because we raised his prices. He was sitting in the mastermind meeting, and he's like, didn't know what to do. He wanted to bump up his business and take it to the next level. And, he was having a little trouble, and boom, one decision, a letter to his clients, raised his prices $4,000 a month. I think he lost like one person or something like that. I don't even know the exact numbers, but it wasn't a lot. And increased in one decision, $4,000 per month from having a better pricing strategy. Here are some bonus products that you're going to get with the surge. I'll call it the Get Cash Quick system. So I load this module in early because I realize that a lot of you do need money right now. You do need money right now. And so one of the first things I do is have you watch the Get Cash Quick system. And it's basically a bunch of different things that you can do to make money right now. Because I realize cash flow is an issue for a lot of people. And there's some times where maybe you can't wait to learn target marketing before you kind of turn, some revenue. So this is one of the first things that I have you watch is this and it's a bunch of different things like, hey, following up with all of your old members, right? I promise you, if you go follow up with all of your old members and you offer them a free month to come back, that they're going to convert that pretty quickly. Trying to, get someone to pay in full. Right? You need cash right now. Ask one of your members that's on a 12-month contract to pay you in full, right? And get cash. So it's not something that you want to do all the time, but I realize some of you are in the situation where you need cash. And there's a whole video series on how to get cash quick system that you get with it. And these are all outside of the actual modules. These are separate systems that you get with the Surge. The holiday gift card system, right? I'm going to tell you a testimonial about the holiday gift card system in a second that's going to blow your mind. How to use Google Ads presentation. So I have my Google Ad guy come on. I'm going to film a presentation of him teaching you how to use Google Ads, how to film the perfect video testimonial. I have one of my video guys come on that does all of our videos for us that's going to show you how to do it. And then finally, how to get a good surge on Black Friday. We have a whole system that we use for Black Friday that can really be transferred to other different systems. We just got like 12 new trials from Valentine's Day. You know, so little things like that. One of our clients, Joe Hash, he got like 20. He beat us. I was mad. But the reality is there's a lot of things that you can do. And these are all different separate videos, separate from the modules that you actually get with it. So Jeremy brought in $13,307 in revenue from a Get Cash Quick system alone. We watched that system and he just took action right away and brought in 13K. This is going to blow your mind. Listen to this. Joe Riggio, who owns Varsity House Gym, which you should check out this gym. It is it's one of the most beautiful gyms I've ever seen on the planet. It's up in New York. It is beautiful. But they did the holiday gift card system. So the second one, the holiday gift card system. And they brought in 57 people. They got 57 referrals from this holiday gift card system. And the holiday gift card system is basically around the holidays, you give all of your members a card, and we kind of show you how to wrap it up, and we have it all done for you. But and you give each one in a nice envelope, and you basically you give it to them to give as a gift. And he got in 57 trials, 57 people came in. He converted 24 of them, and all of those 24 conversions equated to $5,440 in recurring revenue. In recurring revenue, not at one time, in recurring revenue. So that's 5,000 times 12 because Joe sells 12-month contracts. So again, no fluff in any of these numbers. Okay, here's the investment for the Surge, and here's why it's so expensive. It's so expensive because one of my coaches that coaches me, and I have my own business coach, but he basically says if you broke down, the modules are like 3 hours long, right? And if you broke down all the modules and you sold them separately, and you could easily sell them separately with all the different stuff that you have with it and all the tools and resources that are attached to each module, you could easily separate and sell each of the modules separately for at least $1,000. And there's 6 modules, plus there's a bunch of bonus stuff. So, I mean, that's why it's priced this way. I realize that this is, a very large investment, but the reality is, since you guys are on this webinar, I've kind of, shunned my consultant a little bit and told him I'm going to give you guys a break today. Here's the webinar. This is today only, and there's 9 spots available. If you want to participate in the Surge program, you want one of the 9 spots. Option 1 is a 3-pay at $797, and option 2, if you want to pay in full, is $1,900. And we have 9 spots available because 1, I already have about 11 people signed up for the program because I have some people that signed up early. And 2, I have another webinar tomorrow, and I have about 100 people signed up for the webinar tomorrow. And I want to make sure I left some room for some of them. So I have 9 spots available today for you guys. Here's a guy he did the Surge in the last run. He was really hesitant to do this. He signed up at the absolute last minute. It was like literally the day of the program, he's finally signed up. And I could tell he was really hesitant. He was a young guy, and he was just kind of starting out his gym. And these are the results. He added, during the program, by the end of the program, he added $4,000 a month in recurring revenue and 25 new clients. And get this, the kid was hemming and hawing about signing up for the Surge the day before. Because he did so well and added $4,000 a month in recurring revenue, he signed up for the mastermind, right? So usually if you do the Surge and you do well, you'll have the funds to be able to sign up. And I'll tell you, the mastermind is not cheap. It's $800 a month to do my mastermind, all right? But since he added $4,000 per month in recurring revenue, he was able to do it. He was able to take that leap and jump into, close to a $10,000 investment because he had the confidence in his sales and marketing and all that stuff he learned on the Surge program. So $4,000 per month in recurring revenue and 25 new clients. And like I said before, there's no fluff and no fluffing any of these numbers. These are directly from the mouths of the people that you're seeing. And I welcome you to contact any of these people to look at even the exact amounts that they've added. There is no fluff in any of this. Daniel Lanchetta did the Surge program and added $3,000 of new monthly recurring revenue, 13 new contracts from Edge Performance in Charlotte, North Carolina. Here's my guarantee. My guarantee, if you don't get value by the end of module 2, this is my guarantee, I'll refund every penny, no questions asked. If you don't get value from the program by the end of module 2, I'll refund every penny, no questions asked. So there's really not a ton of risk to be able to make this decision. But I'm going to sweeten the pot for you guys, okay? And this has been a huge, huge asset to a ton of gym owners. I do a live event twice a year, and it's called the GFP Mentorship. And it's a $1,500 ticket. And it's 2 days we spend at my gym where you get to see all the ins and outs of everything that I do. All the ins and outs of everything. You'll see my trainers train. We're going to unpack how we do small group personal training. We'll show you how we market, how we sell. You'll get the inside track on a gym that's generating $130,000 a month and runs without the owner's involvement. So you are going to get a front stage view of that gym, and this ticket is included if you sign up on this webinar. So that is first bonus. I got a couple more for you guys. All right. Joey put in 43 new clients during the Surge program. 43. His confidence level, because this is a big thing that I want to improve in you, is your level of confidence as a marketer. What is your level of confidence as a marketer? He's gone from a 6 to a 9. And he got a massive amount of leads and brought in a ton of new clients from that. Tony, since starting the program, added $12,000 in lifetime value revenue. So again, I'm clear and I'm being upfront and honest and tell you, this is not $12,960 in recurring revenue. This is $12,000. I believe he sold like 2 or 3 contracts with this and brought in this kind of money. This guy now has a marketing plan for the future. Hope is what he has. Hope is what he has when he didn't have before, where he had no plan and he had no confidence and he had no structure in place. And now he has a marketing plan for the future. Another bonus. So if you sign up on this webinar, while we're on the webinar, before the webinar ends, my Facebook ad guy, Kylie Lynch, will actually set up your Facebook ads for you for free. He will set up your Facebook ads for you for free. It's about $2,000 to be able to do this, but soup to nuts, he'll set it up. And if you already have ads running, he'll go in and he'll help you tweak it and he'll make them better. And I guarantee you he'll improve your cost per lead because he did it for us tremendously. But this will be included. So anyone that signs up on this webinar will actually get that Facebook ad set up or the Facebook ad, audit, if you will, of what you're currently doing. We are going to give you the funnel for the sweepstakes. I cannot tell you the amount of value that comes. I would sign up for this program just to get this. That we are going to give you the landing page we use. We're going to give you the emails that we send. We're going to give you the entire funnel of what we use in the sweepstakes. This was what lights gyms on fire. I promise you, if you have the keys to this funnel, this is, and here's the thing, now, does it change your business forever? But what it does is it sets the momentum. It sets the tone and it gives you that all the people that have had really good success with me, this was one of the first things they did. And this got things rolling. So we are going to give you pretty much everything that we got in terms of the landing page, the setup, the ads we use, the follow-up system, and even how to structure it. it's an absolute game changer to be able to have access to this. And I promise you, you will not find this taught anywhere. There's a lot of Facebook ad guys out there that are teaching different email systems and Facebook ad systems. You will not find the sweepstakes as a system anywhere. And I'm hoping no one catches on to this, because this is just a really powerful thing. Eric did this and he got 227 applications. That is not 227 leads. 227 applications, 12 question application of people pouring themselves out of why they should be picked for this. It is a powerful thing. Brian Sippett's 125. Jimmy got 98 applications. These are not leads. These are highly, highly qualified people that are in your direct community that are pouring themselves out on paper, wanting to be picked and wanting to train at your gym. And when you use the system that we teach you, that's a lot of people that you can take advantage of to get into your facility. So the sweepstakes is nice. So I told you I had 9 spots, but I'm going to reserve the bonuses to the first 5 people that register. So Zach, I believe that you have the link right now. So I'm going to post the link in the chat now. So Zach, can you confirm that you are going to post that link in there?
It's in there.
Okay. So Zach, just take a look. And we'll take, I realize that we can take 9 today, but, you know, because I want to reward the people that take action, right? I want to reward the people that, you know, are really committed to this. The first 5 people that register before the webinar will get the 5 bonuses. That's the mentorship, that's the ads, that's all these different things that we got going on. I'll throw in another bonus here that's included for the 5, but I'll give you my 20 best emails we've used at GFP. And in addition to our 20 emails, we got a bunch of the best performing emails from the SPF Mastermind members. So we're going to give you that swipe file and make sure that you kind of can up your email game. And you can take these and you can put them in. They're not exactly ready to swipe because I like people to kind of use their own language and things like that, but they're just give you some unbelievable ideas to be able to send really solid emails. I'm going to give you also a Facebook ad swipe file. And this actually is an ad file that we're taking all of the best ads that we've used at GFP, but also in addition to, we're getting a bunch of different ads from my ad guy, Kylie, that he's used. So a lot of Facebook ad stuff. This is in process. This is not ready for you right away, but by the, probably by the start of the Surge program on March 26th, we will have this ready for you. But that's another bonus that we'll be giving to the first 5 people that register on this webinar. Here's a way to look at this. So think about this. So the cost of the program is around $2,400 bucks, right? I told you that I'm going to help you teach you a consultative sales process, right? A consultative sales process that you will be able to sell people into longer term memberships, right? Because you're going to kind of basically say that, hey, we are, you know, going to do this together, and you're going to basically, you know, create this scenario where you're going to become this trusted advisor. So I'm going to teach you how to do all that, and it's going to enable you to sell longer term memberships, right? So if you charge $200 a month, and I'm going to challenge you to charge more than that, but if you charge $200 per month, and you get 1 client and they sign a 12-month membership, that is the cost of this program. Here's the thing. Like I told you, I made that guarantee before, but if I can't get you 1 client, then you deserve to get every ounce of money back, and I should pay you an extra $100 bucks to just that for your trouble. But the reality is, you need 1 client. You need 1 client to equal the cost, the investment. It's not a cost. A lot of people say, well, it's the cost of the program. Well, there's no cost to it. Because if you go back to some of those testimonials that you saw, $5,000 a month in recurring revenue, $4,000 a month in recurring revenue is half of the program in a month. if you really look at it like this and you start looking at, and this is how you got to look at marketing, right? You got to look at marketing as an investment. You got to look at marketing as an investment. And it's the same thing something like this would be. And this is investing in, a program like this is investing in your long-term future as a business person. That is what you're investing in. You're investing in your long-term future. This is like, a program like this is like an insurance policy, right? It's an insurance policy. That Facebook ad thing that you did and that guru that you signed up that promised this flood of leads, well, that worked for that period of time, right? But it's not until you stop and you slow down and you realize that you have to understand this business thing. You have to understand the sales and marketing thing to be able to take your business, to a whole nother level. That's when you're going to see separation. That's when you're going to start seeing, you having freedom and time and being able to build a marketing system that's going to enable you to hire a team of people that are going to do the work and do the great job for you. So
really quickly, Vince, I'm going to interrupt. It looks like some people aren't seeing the link in the comments. So I will, I put it in there and I've kind of responded to everyone, but I don't know if afterwards, Vince, you could go back to
I'm going to put the link up in a second here.
Okay.
But why wouldn't they be getting the link in the chat? They're not in there?
I don't know. It says some people have been, and then some people are writing me directly saying that either their chat room might be slow and they're not getting it.
Okay, there is a possibility if a lot of people are going to the page at once that we could have an issue. A lot of times if a lot of people go at one time that we may have an issue with the cart like crashing. So here's what you're gonna do. If you wanna sign up quickly, if you're having trouble signing up, quickly send a message to Zach and tell her you want a spot. Hopefully it's one of the first 5. Right? Hopefully it's one of the first 5 spots so you can get access to the bonus. Because I'll tell you what, if you're not one of the first 5, these bonuses, are not going to happen. So, I think that in order to get, and the bonus, you will get the 5 bonus products. Okay. But in terms of the ticket to the mentorship, in terms of the Facebook ad install, the swipe files and all that stuff, it's the first 5 people only. So if you do want to sign up, send a message to Zach directly, tell her that you want a spot. I'm not sure why the link isn't working. I'm going to post the link in a second here, but let me just go through. I'll have the link on wait now. Let me go back here. So the recap, you got lifetime access to all 6 of the modules and the resource database. You get the 5 bonus products. You get the ticket to the GFE mentorship if you're one of the first 5, the Facebook ad install, the email swipe files, Facebook ad swipe files, and you also, I didn't even mention this, you get a free ticket to one of my mastermind events. So one of my 2-day mastermind events, if you're one of the first 5, that's one of the bonus products that you will get. So that's kind of the recap of it. Action, this is one of my favorite quotes. Action cures fear. Action cures fear. Here's one thing I promise you. If you're struggling in your business right now, right, and you're frustrated with your lead flow and you're frustrated with not getting your business to run without you, and you're frustrated with a lot of the things going on in your business, I promise you this, simply signing up for this program before you even do anything in the program will start making you feel better. I promise you this. And here's the thing, is I know the program's going to work for you. If you put the work in, I know the program's going to work for you. But sometimes when you just make a decision, it's like if you're sick and you make a doctor's appointment, or it's immediately, once you schedule the appointment, you immediately feel better because you really know that, hey, help is around the corner. And I promise you this, and not one testimonial that I share with you was an elaboration or anything like that. And I promise you can call every one of those people and you can ask them exactly what the results were, and they will be 100% upfront and honest with you that those are true, actual results. There's not a lot of bullshit and fluff in what I do. There's really not. And I think there's a lot of bullshit and fluff in this industry. And I will tell you this, everything I teach you, I do. Everything I teach you, I do in my own gym. Everything I teach you, I teach to my mastermind members and I implement in the mastermind. So there is a lot of proof behind this program and a lot of backing that it just simply works. And the cool thing about it and what I like about it is this program makes you a better business owner, right? And that's really what it takes to succeed. Not a lead flood program, not sign up for this Facebook ad guru and promise this flood of leads. And like, it's such a bunch of hogwash of what's being sold out there. And it bothers me as a person that's run a gym for 10 years. I know what works, right? And I know what doesn't. And the reality is this, is that if you decide to join me, you're going to be coming into something that is going to get your results and take your business to the next level. So this is the actual link of it. If you're having a problem, you can type this link into your browser and go from there. So let me just take a second here. All right. So Zach, do we have any questions here? See if I can pull up this chat.
Yeah, there were 3 questions. The first one was, do you recommend a specific email software?
Yeah, that's a good question. And basically, here's the thing. It depends on where you are. So when we started, we used we used Constant Contact. And Constant Contact is basically, it's good. It's cheap. It's not a lot of money, but Constant Contact, AWeber is also another one, and it gets your emails sent out, and they're decent. We use something called Active Campaign that's like a little bit more robust, and it has a CRM attached to it. So basically, it's like a follow-up system attached to it. So that's always my first choice. To do that, but the reality is, I think that just something basic like Constant Contact and and MailChimp is even another one where it's like pretty cheap. I think MailChimp might even be free. So that's the answer to that. Any other questions, Zach?
The only other one, which I think that you might reserve for the actual surge program, is how do you raise prices? Do you grandfather current members or adjust everyone?
Okay, cool. The answer to that question, and I'm just reading Gabe's. Yeah, Gabe, you get everything. Don't worry about it, brother. You're all set. Either way. So raising prices. Okay, so here's the thing. That is a decision that you need to make, right? It's obviously not an easy thing to do. And the reality is some people are in the position where they kind of have to, right? Where you kind of have to, because you're charging so little money per month, you kind of have to go in and you got to raise your prices on current members. But the reality is this. Let's say you don't want to do that, and if you need money, you kind of got to do it. You have no choice. You got to do it. But if you don't want to, all it takes in terms of raising your prices is you open up your Word document, you go in there, and then you change a number. That's it. And that's all you need to do, because the new people coming in, they don't know what it used to be. And a lot of people don't do that because they're worried about, my members might talk about how much we charge. Bullshit. That's just like silly, mindless thinking and head trash. Just go in and change the prices and show up and own the day and charge exactly, what you're worth. I think too many gyms are underpricing themselves to having bad businesses. They're having bad businesses. So that is like, there's only so many people in a community, especially if you have a gym where you're going to go with one location, like I've decided to do, and just stay with one location. There's only so many people in your community you can get, right? You're probably not going to be able to have 1,000 members, right? And if you're not charging enough money, you're going to put yourself in playing a volume game. And when you're playing a volume game, it's not a great game to play. It's not a great game to play at all. Other questions
That was the two that I saw while you were talking.
I see one from Charlie. How well would your system work with one-on-one training, and would you recommend moving to small group training? Well, my system works with one-on-one training perfectly because remember, we don't talk about, this is for Charlie, we don't talk about in the marketing, Charlie, we don't talk about the product. We don't talk about one-on-one training. You talk about the problems that your client wants to solve. That's what you talk about in your marketing. So the system works brilliant with one-on-one training. Now, do I recommend doing the small group? Well, here's the deal. If you're charging $100 a session, all right, for a one-on-one, okay, you can make $100 in 1 hour. If you can let 4 people into that session and charge $50, you have the potential to make $200 an hour. So you decide. Do you want to have the potential to make $100 an hour with no real potential to go up? Right? Because you're probably not going to go to 150 or 200 unless you're in like New York City. But the reality is, hell, I'd rather make $200 an hour. So that's the answer to that, Charlie. Jim Brown, 26,000 box, Jim. How do we convert this? Here's Jim. I have the exact solution for you. So and Plumber did a plug for me recently. Tom Plummer did a plug for me. And I've gotten on the phone with tons of different powerhouses and big box and even retros and things like that. And the reality is this. Are you going to try and climb the ladder where you're playing the volume game and you're trying to get more $20 a month memberships? Or can you find the 100 people in your area to pay you $300 a month? Can you find, Jim Brown, can you find 100 people in your area to pay you $300 a month? And now you have to have a separate marketing plan for those people and a separate brand within your 26,000 square feet to market that service to that client that will pay you that kind of money. So yeah, you can bang your head against the wall and keep trying to get people to pay you $20 a month. But the reality is you can make 30 grand a month with 100 people. And you'd have to add a shitload more people to try and make that 30 grand at charging $20 a month. You'll have to find it, Jim. You'll have to find, oh, I can find the 100 members. Okay, good. I thought you said I can't find it. Very good. Yeah, you're going to have to find it because that's the quickest way for you to take your business to the next level. But you have to create, Jim, a separate brand within it's a totally separate business. I would create like almost a separate everything. Because who's attracted to the 26,000 foot box, they're attracted to a commodity, right? They're attracted to this renting a space on an elliptical. That's what they're attracted to. Versus the client that you want that's going to pay you $300, they are attracted to experience. They are attracted to results. They're attracted to trainers that are educated and know what they're doing that are going to be able to get them results. That's the difference. All right.
I think that's it for the questions.
Let's see here. Any more questions? Post some more questions. I'm good to go. I want to ask for how do you handle increasing prices? We got to that. Good advice. Cool. All right, cool. Vince, you tell people they want to prioritize athletes. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So there is, Michael, and there's plenty of people, and you know one of them, all right, that is still doing that. The reality is, if that's what you want to do, and I can't force anyone to make any decisions. I can only, as educated as possible, tell you that you will always have these ebbs and flows of business, right? And the adult market is a great way to have stability in your business. So I will certainly help you. And if you want to make that decision, and there's a guy in the group, Mike, I think I talked to you about Dan Huff, who still sticks with athletes. And he's working on the fluctuations of his business, and he's starting the adult population. And most people end up coming around, but absolutely, Mike, if you wanted to come on, I definitely would take you, because honestly, marketing is marketing. So the reality is the marketing is just knowing your target market really well. Okay, good. Lonzo, you're welcome, Mike. Have you ever started with one niche market, but realized that you actually enjoy performance fat loss versus training people that want to lose weight? Mike, Alonzo, I'm not sure. You're welcome, Jim. I'm not sure I understand the difference versus fat loss and want to lose weight. So I'm not sure. I believe the reality is here's my kind of thought to that. If you are looking to train motivated, in shape people, and want to train people that come in and they're already motivated and they're already got training experience before and they want to kick ass and they want to kill it, you can do that. And that's fine. But I will tell you, there are a shitload more people that are not motivated, that need to lose weight, that are working out 0 days a week, and a huge win is them to work out twice a week. There is so many more people. So I will tell you this, Lonzo, if you do decide to do that, that's fine, and I'll help you with it. But realize you are taking a very, very small piece of the pie. And if you want to make some serious money in this business, all right, you want to make some serious money in the business, going after the large slice of the pie that a lot of people don't want to work with. Right? Because everyone wants to work with the performance fat loss crowd and the CrossFit people and the people that are really in shape. Everyone wants them. All the trainers want them. But you know who wants the other people? The business people, the rich people, the people that are killing it and making a lot of money. Those are the people that says, yes, John, 50 years old, stressed out executive, I'll train you twice a week and help you with your nutrition. And you'll come in twice a week and you'll sweat and everything will be fine. And you'll pay me $500 a month for the next 10 years. The gym owners that do that, those are the ones that get rich. Those are the ones that get rich. Thank you, Alonzo. Okay. Any other questions? I'm here, guys. There's still 21 some people on the webinar, so usually people don't stick around this long. This is great. Any other questions here? What, if you guys are still on, don't you want to ask questions? I don't know why you're still on if you don't want to ask questions.
They just want your answers. They might not have questions, but they just want to hear what your answers are.
I wanted to ask if you handle increasing pricing. I did that. Other questions I can answer for you guys. It looks like there's a Q&A section. All good. Thanks, Mike. You got it, brother.
The Q&A section, I've been answering those questions. People are like just writing just more. It was about the link most of the time.
Okay.
So if there aren't any questions.
Okay, great. Okay. Anything else? Just type into the chat, guys. Type into the chat if you have any questions. I'm happy to.
Dylan wants to know, will you be covering at all how to go from being a one-man operation to starting a team with your first employees?
Yes. Yeah. Well, here's the deal, Dylan, with that. Zach, can you send Dylan or just send me an email. Mm-hmm. And I want to send Dylan a link to my 4 stages of business article. It's like a 4-series video article that I did on the 4 stages of business and kind of what it takes to get to the next level. And the reality is when you're in stage 1 and you're kind of just starting out, the number one thing that needs to happen is that you get to a critical mass of customers. Because if you don't get to that critical mass of customers, you don't have the money to be able to hire anybody. So the reality is you must focus on marketing and sales in the beginning of your business. You must learn this stuff early to be able to get to the next level in your business, to be able to hire someone. So step one in that progression is getting the marketing set and getting the sales set. And then step two would be, all right, let's get an admin, let's get a part-time trainer in there, let's get a trainer. It happens in a progressive, but if you read that 4 stages of business, I think that should clear up a lot for you. But yeah, we'll be definitely covering, that. And that's all stuff like if you have like personal questions that you want to ask inside the Surge modules, then basically, I'll answer those questions as well, even if it's not super related to actually what's going on. Alonzo, have you found it very hard to compete with those who sell quick fixes versus, if you're being honest about how long results take and focus on making habits and lifestyle changes? All of that is based on the target market, right? So, if you're very clear on the target market and you're very clear on the messaging to that market, a lot of that stuff gets out. So a lot of it is fixed in your marketing. A lot of it gets fixed in being very clear on the target market and being clear on actually who you are and what you're about. And you'll find yourself, when you're clear on that in your marketing, you find yourself sitting down with a lot less of those quick fix type of people. Jim, all right, thanks, Randy. Is there a specific way to go about building relationships with our businesses? Lonzo is good, a lot of questions, thanks. Let me go to Jim's question though. We've been selling an open-ended monthly membership for about 8 years. A lot of them are grandfathered in at very low pricing. What's your thoughts on bumping them up to current pricing? It would make a $300 a month difference, a $3,000 a month in recurring billing. What's the price of the membership? I kind of would want to know that there. Jim, if you could post in the chat what the price of the membership is, that would help me. Let me move to Alonzo. I was reading your book on marketing. Is there a specific way to go about building a relationship with other businesses? Absolutely. So, and again, that kind of goes back to what I was saying with joint ventures. But the reality is, let me finish Alonzo's question, Jim. But the reality is this: the first thing you want to do is you want to make a list of other businesses that kind of are complementary to what you do, right? I would make a list of 10 businesses, Alonzo, and think about the massage place, the yoga studio, and all things like that, and really focus on what business in your area has your same target market client. And then what I would do is and this is where like going to those community events are really good, because if you set up a booth at one of these community events and you have a booth next to a physical therapy clinic, that's going to build a relationship right then and there. So part of building relationship is just being active in the community. But the reality is, one of the things you want to do, and I think I talk about this in the book, is an email introduction. And let's say you basically have a person that you want to get in touch with for a joint venture in your community. I promise you, if someone owns a local massage place in your area that's a mile down the road from you, I promise you, you know someone that knows the owner of that place. So what I would suggest you do is basically, the email introduction is massive. What I suggest you do is find someone that knows the owner of that and ask them to introduce you. That's the way to get it started. And then after you get it started, the number one thing you need to do is you need to show them how they can benefit from a relationship with you. So it's not how they can help you, right? It's how you can help them and then how they can help you. That's it. All right, I have 136 gym type places, 12 radius with less than 80, but for sure radius. I don't know enough of Jim about the culture of it to say if you could do the pricing, because I would definitely, the first thing I would do is, can you raise it to 49, right? And make the membership $49. But my focus would be, you know, on creating a whole new crop of people. And I don't think the people paying 29 are your market for this. I really don't. I think it's possible, right? It's possible someone could go from paying 29 bucks to 300 bucks. But the reality is my focus would be, I'd need to know a little bit more about your gym and your culture. And are these people like, you know, grandfather, like family? I'm kind of on this as, yeah, $3,000 a month in the long run. Is it even worth the chance of a bunch of people dropping off? Because the reality is you kind of, at this pricing, you're a commodity, right? So it's like, that's the one advantage you have, is pricing. So yeah, if you're gonna, the reason why if you can get price elasticity and charge more money is because you have the ability to do that, because you can provide a better service and provide better results. What's going to change if you go from 29 to 30? I know they're still going to have a place to work out, and that's it. And amenities and stuff like that, it's like people don't value that as much as they want to pay for it, because they can go down the street and get the same thing. So that's where, like, you have to be able to be not comparable. And when you're comparable, then that. So yeah, my focus would be on a whole new market and go from there. Got to go now. Thanks for the awesome webinar. You certainly made the fire even bigger than it was. Sign up for the surge. See you there. Awesome. Very good, Dylan. Awesome. If anyone else signed up and you're still on, just post in the chat and let me know if you signed up. It'd be really great to meet you. But thank you, Dylan. I'm really looking forward to working with you, brother. Very good. I already signed up. Oh, good. Awesome, Jim. Looking forward to working with you more. I think it'll be really good. Post into the chat if you already signed up. So that's 2 spots gone. So there. Zach, any other?
I think that's it, but we definitely got our 5.
Okay, good. All right, so we're sold out for the so if you want to get on, you can sign up, but I believe the 5 spots are already taken for those bonuses. So any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Anything I can do to help you? I'm here to serve you as best as I can. Okay. All right, good. Well, I'm going to wrap this up, and truly appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to chat with me and learn a little bit about business. And you know, for those of you that signed up for the surge, congratulations on making that decision. I can promise you that you will not be unhappy, and that you'll be in a great position to take your business, you know, to a whole nother level. So I truly appreciate the time. And again, here is the link if you want to sign up. Oh, where's my screen? There it is. There is the link if you want to sign up for the surge. And remember this, like, action cures fear. Action cures fear. When you take action and you all of a sudden, if you're struggling in your business and you do something about it, great things are going to happen. So, oh, Jim, you got into the 5. Very good. Okay, great. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, if there's no more questions, feel free to reach out to me, you know, personally via email. Like I said, I'm kind of just a normal guy. I'm no guru. I'm no, industry, great. I'm just a guy that's had a lot of success as a gym owner, and I'm helping a lot of people, grow their gym too. So feel free to reach out to me. You can email me personally and chat and go from there. But thank you guys so much, and I will see you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Zach.
They don't want